Friday. It is a Friday heading into the long weekend. We made it, and Ainsley McPhail is going to be live at the Children's Museum today telling us about how to get your kids prepped for back to school. If you're looking for something fun to do with them on the weekend, there's a lot of really cool things there, including an exhibit about mosquitoes. So we're going to find out more about that throughout the morning, but first your headlines. Warrant enforced. What Winnipeg police recovered when a riverbank encampment was raided earlier this week. Plus, shippers face added costs as a popular exemption for goods sent stateside ends today. And the tradition continues with the Labor Day Classic as the Bombers head to Regina to take on the Rough Riders. Bringing in Catherine Dow, who's in for Terry this morning. Confession, Catherine, I wore green today and quickly realized my foolish mistake and changed as quick as I could.
Rochelle, you would have had to go into hiding had you done
I refused to wear green this weekend at all, cheering on those Bombers.
You know, one time I went to the Banjo Bowl without thinking about it wearing a green sweater, and I got booed, so that came off real quick. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what, for those going to be watching the game at home, heading out to the lake, whatever your plans are, we have gorgeous weather on the way and hot weather, as evidenced by our current conditions not looking so cool for 6 a.m. 14 degrees. Those winds are light out of the south-southeast. The barometric pressure is even, the humidity at 94%. So because we've got such a sunny and beautiful weather for weekend ahead, there we go. I don't have a lot to show you on the radar. A little bit of cloud coverage. It'll be starting to intensify into the afternoon, but for the most part, we're pretty uniform. There's a very slight chance of some rainfall and thunderstorm activity in the northwest, but it's not even picking up. It's on our radar. It's about a 30% chance of it happening, so maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two. Likely everyone's going to stay dry, and again, we start to see some clouds move into the late afternoon, potentially sticking around overnight. Bit of a cloudier start to the day on Saturday with very hot temperatures throughout the province in the upper 20, lower 30 degree marks for most areas. Those clouds also dissipate as the day progresses. So as you can see, lots of sunshine. What's not evident is just how hot it's going to get. We're looking at a high of 29 degrees today over those sunny skies. Into tomorrow, 31 degrees, again with light winds. Sunday, 30 as well. Monday, we get a little bit of a break in the heat. There is a good chance for some overnight showers, and then those clouds roll in, and we move back down to what's seasonal on Tuesday with a high of 21 degrees.
Thank you, Catherine. We're learning more about what Winnipeg police seized when they raided a homeless encampment Wednesday. Police say they recovered dozens of bike parts from a chop shop on the riverbank. This after officers first obtained a search warrant before raiding a wood structure which is in a public park. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel on what they found inside.
A day after raiding a temporary wood structure being used as a bike chop shop in a riverbank encampment, Winnipeg police say they found dozens of bike frames and tires.
Numerous items that have currently been seized as evidence in relation to our investigation.
Police say over the last few months they received reports that property crime was occurring in this camp on Waterfront Drive. An investigation began and police moved in. They recovered 50 bicycle frames, 77 bicycle tires, 53 bicycle tire rims, 5 bicycle tires with rims, a gas generator, lawnmower, pressure washer, and a wheelchair. 3 people were arrested, but only 2 faced charges. And in what police believe is a first for them, they obtained a warrant in order to execute a search of the encampment structure.
So we have treated this like any other criminal investigation in the city of Winnipeg that involves a person's residence by obtaining a search warrant.
CTV News spoke to some residents and people who work in the waterfront area. They did not want to appear on camera, but questioned why a warrant would be necessary when the homeless camp is in a public park. Lawyer Chris Gamby says it comes down to privacy rights. He says they don't necessarily attach to a specific place. They can attach to a person and their interest in that place.
If that individual can articulate that that is in fact their home and they can demonstrate that they have a right to privacy in that space, the courts then may find that they'd be entitled to some relief.
And Gamby says by getting the warrant, the onus shifts to the defense to prove there is an issue with the search instead of the Crown having to justify the police officer's actions.
Frankly, I think it's smart police work on their end, and it shows that they're being diligent with what they're doing.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Police say a 39-year-old man and a 57-year-old man are both facing a charge of possession of property obtained by crime under $5,000. Both were released on an undertaking. Doctors Manitoba is joining the chorus of voices expressing concern about the rise in violent incidents in and around Health Sciences Centre. A new survey of its members found the number of incidents at the hospital is nearly double the provincial average. Roughly 30% of the physicians there experienced nearly one physical safety incident a month over the previous year. And HSC accounts for 45% of all physical safety incidents reported to them in the past 12 months. This includes everything from being punched, kicked, and spat on. Doctors Manitoba says this is unacceptable and is calling on Shared Health and HSC to find and fix safety security gaps as they're identified, rather than waiting for a full report to be made before action is taken. In a statement to CTV News, the spokesperson for Shared Health writes in part, "Over the past 2 years, we have taken steps based on recommendations we heard from the unions and directly from frontline workers. These recommendations have led to physical improvements to the site, including additional lights, cameras, station security, AI weapon scanners, and reducing the number of unsecured public entrances. And we continue to work toward further changes." The city of Winnipeg is taking another step towards getting smart water meters in your home. The city has put out a request for proposals to implement an advanced metering infrastructure system. It asks applicants to create a data collection network with citywide coverage. They'll also have to supply compatible water meters and software. Companies have until September 18th to submit applications. It's the end of an era as duty-free shipping to the U.S. ends today, with many Canadian businesses bracing for a financial hit. Starting today, the United States is eliminating the de minimis exemption, which has allowed packages worth $800 or less to ship to the U.S. without duties. Now, full duties will be collected on all global packages entering the U.S. Experts say some Canadian businesses are likely to lose U.S. customers, as the change will make products more expensive. Last year, almost 1.4 billion packages worth more than $64 billion entered America without being charged duties. One of Canada's key economic indicators is pointing in the wrong direction.
It certainly bodes for our Prime Minister and his negotiating team to get a deal struck as soon as possible with the Trump administration, because these are painful numbers.
Data from Statistics Canada says Canada recorded a $19.5 billion deficit in goods and services trade during the second quarter. That's up from $800 million in the first quarter. StatsCan says this jump happened as U.S. tariffs hit and as the loonie went up. An Ontario plant that bottles Crown Royal whiskey is set to close up shop, leaving an uncertain future for its workers.
We need to maintain the jobs. Without the jobs, we become a bedroom community, and I, as mayor, do not want that. This is a major blow.
Crown Royal's parent company, Diageo, says the bottling plant in Amherstburg, Ontario, is slated to close in February. The company says the whiskey will continue to be mashed, distilled, and aged in Canada, but the move is part of an effort to shift some of its bottling volume closer to its U.S. consumers. The plant is the largest employer in Amherstburg with 160 workers. The union representing those workers says it won't let the facility close without a fight. It's not often you get to watch a documentary and then hear directly from the subjects of the film, but that's what's happening at a special screening at Winnipeg's Government House next month.
Oh, goosebumps. The sun came out at that moment.
Coronation Girls tells the story of 50 young women who sailed across the Atlantic Ocean in 1953 to witness the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. It uses archival footage and then follows the women decades later as they retrace the trip and reflect on the experience. After the film screening, you'll get to hear a live panel discussion with the filmmaker and 3 of the Manitoba women featured in the documentary. The free event is happening September 11th, but you'll need to register ahead of time by calling the office of the Lieutenant Governor. The Labor Day long weekend is just around the corner, and that means hundreds of Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans are making their way to Regina. The annual Labor Day Classic pits the Bombers against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This year, the Riders are in first place in the West Division. The Bombers are in third, so a win for the Blue and Gold would be huge. The game will be played Sunday night, and you can watch it on TSN. And here's a look now what's going on in traffic along Portage Avenue. Things are smooth here, really looking good to start off your long weekend. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Children's Museum this morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Well, some people might be excited that it's back to school here in Winnipeg next week after the Labor Day, of course. But here at the Children's Museum, there's things you can do all year round, including, for one weekend left, Attack of the Bloodsuckers. Now, this here is a live demonstration of mosquitoes at different stages of life, and they actually put it together here at the museum. I think it's maybe the only place in Manitoba where they're trying to actively make sure there's mosquitoes in one place. Tons going on here, though, including mini Mondays for back to school, which those are for the littles. Those are the ones that aren't quite ready for school yet. A great spot for new parents, too, to come by and connect with one another. There's also Culture Days, which coincides with Nuit Blanche, and we're going to be doing some active demonstrations, including glow-in-the-dark paint. It's pretty bright in here, so I'm not exactly sure how that one's going to roll out, but we'll just have to see.
Okay, well, thank you, Ainsley. One thing we don't want to see this long weekend are mosquitoes, and it's all about the weather when it comes to that, but it's going to be hot.
It is very hot, and you know what? We had a bit of a rainy, wet week, I believe last week.
Yeah.
It's been relatively dry, so hopefully we won't be attracting those mosquitoes. It's looking really gorgeous out here as the sun is starting to make its first appearances. It's 14 degrees here with very light southerly winds, although it's still managing to mess up my hair. The barometric pressure is even, and the humidity sits at 94%. So, hot and sunny. It's making my job easy, this forecast, because it's fairly uniform across the province. We have an upper ridge that's bringing some very warm temperatures throughout Manitoba. With that intense humidity, could be a chance for an isolated rain shower, maybe some thunderstorm activity, very light chance of that in the northwest. The rest of us will start out under those clear skies. Some clouds will build, particularly in and around Winnipeg into the afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 20-degree mark. In Westman, even warmer, some areas surpassing the 30 degrees. Up north, much the same in terms of those conditions. Temperatures in the upper 20s, above seasonal with lots of sunshine and light winds. Overnight tonight, skies remain partly cloudy here in southern Manitoba. Temperatures dipping down to 16. And tomorrow we get even hotter, if you can believe it. We're looking at a high of 31 degrees on the Saturday of your September long weekend with plenty more sunshine to enjoy. Alrighty, we got to go to break, but stay with us. So much more CTV Morning Live still to come on this Monday.
CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
There's a drive at City Hall to increase the transfer time for riding Winnipeg Transit buses. Right now, when you get on a bus and pay the fare, you get a transfer. That transfer allows you to ride as many buses as you need for 75 minutes. St. Vital Councillor Brian Mays has submitted a motion to increase that time to 90 minutes. He says he's heard from constituents that under the new transit system, passengers are experiencing longer rides with more transfers and longer wait times. Mays says lengthening the transfer time window is a simple, low-cost way to make things easier on transit riders.
People are just going to have longer trips and longer, possibly longer wait times to get buses. So it seemed a reasonable compromise. I don't think it'll be a big hit in terms of fares. And do you really want people paying twice on the same trip? That doesn't seem like what we're after. We're trying to encourage people to take transit.
Mays says he hasn't done a cost analysis and the idea is far from becoming a reality. The move now goes to the Riel Community Committee. If passed, it will then go to the Public Works Committee. School divisions in Winnipeg are making plans to ensure education continues for Manitobans displaced by wildfires this summer.
Some folks have expressed, perhaps they're facing loss of home, loss of time. And so as a division, we really want to wrap our arms around the students and the families to address their social emotional needs and to be able to provide a place of normalcy.
One of those is the St. James Assiniboia School Division, which is preparing to welcome students from evacuated communities to their schools when classes resume next week. The division says plans are in place to ensure a smooth transition when students are able to return to their home communities. The province says the Education and Early Childhood Learning Department has been working on back-to-school plans for evacuated children throughout the summer. New details are emerging about that heartbreaking shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis on Wednesday. For the first time, the father of an 8-year-old who was killed spoke, making an emotional plea. CTV's Mike Le Couture on what he said and what we're learning about the alleged killer's video manifesto.
Where are they? The panic is palpable. Video taken by a father who ran into the church after the shooting shows children and adults rush out of the building. 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel was one of the victims.
Please remember Fletcher for the person he was and not the act that ended his life. Give your kids an extra hug and kiss today. We love you, Fletcher. You'll always be with us.
Other parents describe the chilling moments as they searched for their kids Wednesday morning.
I just saw teachers, but it was because the kids were laying down. And I got closer and I just saw blood everywhere.
Police say a protocol requiring the doors to be locked during Mass saved countless lives. But the shooter managed to still fire a total of 119 rounds, aiming through the windows. Outside the church, residents lay flowers and stuffed animals at a makeshift memorial for the 2 dead and 18 injured. Meanwhile, the police investigation focuses on a now deleted video manifesto. In it, 23-year-old Robin Westman shows off a disturbing diary.
The shooter idolized some of the most notorious school shooters and mass murderers in our country's history. The shooter was obsessed with the idea of killing children.
The weapons used were obtained legally, but today local lawmakers are pushing for stricter gun control.
We're not talking about your father's hunting rifle here. We're talking about guns that are built to pierce armor and kill people.
Minneapolis's police chief said the shooter had no criminal history and no state-ordered commitments for mental health. So there was nothing preventing the assailant from buying those guns.
The Quebec government is planning to table a bill that would ban prayer in public spaces. The announcement makes good on a suggestion put forward by Premier François Legault, who said he didn't want to see people praying in public parks or on streets. On Thursday, Secularism Minister Jean-François Roberge confirmed he will table legislation this fall to outlaw the practice. While it's not yet clear how the ban would work, the Premier hasn't ruled out using the notwithstanding clause, which is the legal provision allowing governments to override charter rights. Nearly 1 in 4 U.S. adults report living with chronic pain, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That means the pain has lasted for 3 months or longer. While it can significantly impact a person's quality of life, many may not seek a doctor's care out of fear of being told surgery is needed.
Surgery is kind of that last resort. And if you look at statistics, most patients get better. And I'd say probably greater than 80 to 85% of patients with chronic pain get better without ever needing surgery.
Experts say the first step for patients with chronic back and neck pain is to get to the root of the problem, which can start with an X-ray or advanced imaging like a CT scan or MRI. Treatment options vary based on the diagnosis. If the pain is keeping you up at night, muscle relaxers may help. And here's what's happening now at Confusion Corner. Looks like a smooth drive over in this part of the city. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see any problems out there, let us know, please.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Casting our eye to the sky now, it's 14 degrees out there, a couple clouds speckling those skies. Winds are light out of the south. The barometric pressure is even. The humidity sits at 94%. Steady is what I should say for the barometric pressure. Okay, we are dealing with a good amount of humidity in the province thanks to an upper ridge that's kind of locked in the heat here in much of Manitoba. As evidenced by these temperatures at 6 a.m., we're seeing 14 degrees in Portage and Gimli, 16 in Dauphin and Swan River. And up north, temperatures on par with what we're seeing here. Even Churchill, it's kind of strange because while you're at 17 degrees, looking to be one of the warmer parts of the province, you're actually going to have a cooler day while the rest of us deals with a hotter one. In terms of our skies, not a lot to write home about here. We have very clear skies to kick us off. Some clouds will be joining us in southern Manitoba later on into the day. Talked about that upper ridge bringing heat, just how hot it's going to get. Take a look. We start to see those temperatures even crack the 20-degree mark by 10 a.m. And then into the afternoon, we're seeing highs into the upper 20s, cracking the 30-degree mark there in Dauphin. You can't see it, but Churchill will be losing a good amount of heat. The high there only 13 degrees, while the rest of us again are exceeding seasonal expectations for the year. As you put the kids on the bus, 17 degrees under those clear skies. There is no school today, I've just been told, because kids are in summer break. How can you tell I've had no sleep? So if the kids theoretically were coming home on the bus, it would be 28 degrees. It's good prep for next week when they are on the bus, so we're just doing a dress rehearsal. I knew what I was doing the whole time. Okay, 29 degrees will be our high. 22 is what's typical for this time of year. It's like, why did Terry have this graphic not in play? Because Terry knew there's no school. 16 degrees overnight with clouds lingering. Tomorrow on our Labor Day long weekend, 31 degrees under mainly clear skies. Sunday also a scorcher at 30. Okay, your CTV Morning Live picture of the day, a lovely shot in Lundar Beach. Melissa snapped this one. Thank you so much for that. And you can keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. I'm going to go down about 6 cups of coffee, but stay with us. So much more CTV Morning Live still to come.
Good morning. It's being called one of the biggest and deadliest attacks on Ukraine since the Russian invasion began. At least 19 people are dead, including children, after hundreds of missiles and drones hit Kyiv. Canadian officials are accusing Russian President Vladimir Putin of deliberately targeting civilians, asserting the attack only hardens allies' resolve to see the war end. CTV's Rachel Aiello has more.
Multiple body bags pulled from this smoldering residential building in Kyiv after Russia launched a massive air attack on the capital. Dozens of buildings were hit or damaged by debris. Russia claimed the strikes were targeting Ukraine's military-industrial complex, but the death toll, expected to climb, already includes 4 children.
The Ukrainians are holding very hard, and so the Russians are pounding. They're not willing to negotiate yet.
The attack, the first targeting the city center since the Alaska summit, raising new questions about where U.S. President Donald Trump's peace talks stand.
He was not happy about this news, but he was also not surprised.
The European Union and United Kingdom are summoning Russia's envoys after strikes damage their diplomatic offices in the capital.
We are keeping maximum pressure on Russia.
The Canadian embassy was not hit. Foreign Affairs confirming all staff are safe. But that didn't deter Prime Minister Mark Carney from blasting Russia in a lengthy statement. By murdering when he should be talking, Putin demonstrates in the most horrific manner that his mission to subsume the Ukrainian people under his tyranny continues, Carney said in part. The Prime Minister was just in Kyiv, where he vowed Canada's aid contributions could expand in the event of a ceasefire.
And I would not exclude the presence of troops.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been working the phones with top world leaders in the aftermath of the attack, thanking them for their support and pressing for tough new sanctions on Russia. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, we're live at the Children's Museum. There's lots going on there this weekend, as well as when kids head back to school. More after the break.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Pretty clear to kick us off here on this Friday. 14 degrees, some lighter winds. The barometric pressure is steady and the humidity sits at 94%. Got a lot of sunshine and a lot of heat coming our way for the Labor Day long weekend, sort of the unofficial end to summer. As you can see, not a lot of clouds to report about currently on our radar. We will start to see some build later in the afternoon, particularly for us here in Winnipeg. Very hot, 29 degrees is what we're looking at. 22 is a normal seasonal high, and we won't be touching that for a number of days thanks to an upper ridge that's really locked in the heat through much of Manitoba. Winds will stay light throughout the day out of the southwest at 10 kilometers per hour. Into tonight, temperatures dipping down to 16, partly cloudy skies, with those winds shifting slightly out of the northwest at 10 kilometers per hour. And into tomorrow, another scorcher, 31 degrees under those mostly sunny skies. Again, with this level of humidity, there is a chance for a little bit of instability, maybe a stray thunderstorm or two. Likely we will stay dry and very hot because those winds not doing much to cool us down out of the south at 10 kilometers per hour. On Sunday, another very warm one under a mix of sun and and cloud, that high of 30 degrees. Into Monday, 26. We start to see the temperatures come down, and by Tuesday we're clouded over with a high of 21, which is back towards seasonal. Wednesday, very warm with clear sunny skies, and then Thursday we are below seasonal, back down to reality under mainly clear sunny skies.
Thanks, Catherine. Manitoba's Auditor General says a rural municipality failed to properly investigate a cyber attack that resulted in the loss of hundreds of thousands of dollars. The breach led to the municipality of Westlake Gladstone losing more than $472,000 over a few weeks in 2019 and 2020. The AG's report says once officials found out about the attack, they didn't investigate how it happened and missed an opportunity to prevent future breaches. It also looked into allegations of mismanagement at half a dozen other RMs involving purchasing protocols, claims for ineligible expenses, and improper governance. Recommendations include better cybersecurity training, more oversight in issuing grants, and better checks and balances for municipal finances. Residents living in Garden City got an unwelcome surprise earlier this week. Someone went through the back lane, ripping out as many downspouts as they could find. CTV's Danton Unger reports.
This is stupid. This is ridiculous.
Harrison Mariano couldn't believe what he saw when he checked the security footage of his Garden City area home Tuesday afternoon.
I can't believe it. This is my first time to see like this.
In broad daylight, a silver minivan pulls up and the driver gets out, walks to the house across the lane, and rips off the downspouts, stuffing them in the van before walking to Mariano's home and doing the same thing.
It's really sad if you think of it. Why a person can do that? It's nothing. It's nonsense.
His wasn't the only house hit.
I thought it was a prank or something.
Rick Marrera lives next door, and he says the exact same thing happened to him.
I have no words. Like, it's mind-boggling why someone would want to take a downspout.
Just walking down this back lane, I've counted at least 10 other homes that have had the same thing happen. Their downspouts ripped off and stolen. Marrera believes whoever did this is collecting the aluminum to sell for scrap, but he says they need to steal a lot of downspouts to make any substantial money.
I don't understand the thought process of doing this. Like, if you take 10, like what are you getting out of 10 total downspouts?
It's not only on the street, everywhere.
Mariano says he's heard other back lanes in his area have also been hit, and he believes the same person is responsible. He's reported his theft to police, and police confirmed to CTV News a report had been received, but provided few details, saying simply it will be investigated. Mariano hopes they'll catch whoever's doing this.
This is just insane. This is, they don't care.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Several Manitoba manufacturing operations are getting a sizable funding boost from the federal government.
With this support, we are investing into plastics manufacturing, bringing that north of the border. In fact, we will have probably the largest rotomolder in Canada is coming as support of some of this.
That's Derek Friesen, head of fiber manufacturing in Crystal City, a producer of agricultural equipment. His company is one of 9 getting a share in more than $21 million in funding announced Thursday. Other recipients are involved in creating cabinets, glass, lawnmowers, RV parts, and more. The federal government says the money should support around 285 new jobs. This was the news people in West Dalhousie were afraid of.
This is a large fire and it needs more resources on the ground and in the air, and we are getting everything we can to get this fire brought under control as quick as we can.
Officials in Nova Scotia have confirmed 20 homes were destroyed by the Long Lake fire on Sunday. 11 other structures like garages and sheds are also gone. All of the affected families have been notified. A program has been set up to help property owners and people who were forced out. Premier Tim Houston says he's thankful there has been no loss of life, and crews are doing everything they can to prevent more damage. The Long Lake fire is still burning out of control. A Montreal-based luxury clothing and accessory brand is now filing for creditor protection. Essence, which sells its products online and in some shops in Montreal, claims its lenders are trying to sell the company without its consent. In a memo to its staff, Essence writes it will file an application under the company's Creditors Arrangement Act to protect the company, retain control of assets, and defend its future. Essence employs about 1,200 people who the company says will still receive salaries and benefits during the court process. What was the best place to celebrate Taylor and Travis's engagement? Probably at this bar.
We were freaking out. Everybody was just cheering. Like, we're all texting each other, like, oh my God, like Tay-Tay and Travis got engaged. This is crazy. What are we gonna do? We're gonna be giving out rosé to Taylor fans today and just do whatever we can to spread the love.
Champagne Problems, a Taylor Swift-themed bar in Manhattan, marked the occasion in a big way this week. The staff say everyone erupted when the engagement was announced. And as you heard, they marked the occasion with rosé, probably all day. And here's a look now at what's going on McPhillips Street. Things are starting off pretty well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see any problems out on the streets, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.38. The provincial average is $1.40. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.41 per litre. The lowest price in the city is $1.34. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Children's Museum this morning. And it's an exhibit that is cool. It's a little bit biting. But it's your last chance to check it out. Is that right?
Did I hear a question mark there, Rochelle? It's
yes.
Cool? It is
sure.
cool. Mosquitoes are cool. It depends on, it's just your perspective on this Friday morning. Attack of the Bloodsuckers is what it's called. And you're right, it is the final weekend to check it out. Brittany McIntosh joins us now to tell us all about it. And hopefully you can come check it out yourself. So what is Attack of the Bloodsuckers?
So Attack of the Bloodsuckers is our summer traveling exhibit, and it closes on Monday. And it is going to teach you all about the things that can suck your blood. So you can learn a lot about mosquitoes and ticks and leeches and black flies. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've been given the full tour before, but for the kids who have had the opportunity as well, what's the feedback been?
So where we're at right now is the live leech tank, and so this has been a real favorite. It's been cool to see kids be interested in science in this way. We get a lot of questions about, like, what do leeches eat, or how do I protect myself from leeches and mosquitoes and these types of things. And so, yeah, it's been interesting to see kids be really interested in the science part, but also it's like gross and cool.
Well, I was going to say, you left a huge component out. You show them blood, don't you? I mean, it's in the name.
It's in the name. Yeah. So we do live leech feedings. Our last one was yesterday, and so the kids get to see the leeches eat, and leeches typically are eating blood. Yeah.
Cool. With back to school, there's tons to do. I mean, at the museum in general, why is it just a great place to be?
Yeah, so there's tons of back-to-school programming. Our Mini Mondays resumes. We have a couple events coming up. We've got Mini Nuit Blanche. We have Halloween Howl. So yeah, there's lots of stuff to do in this back-to-school season.
And new hours as well, especially as the fall season approaches.
Yeah, so starting on September 12th is our last day of closure week. So as of the 13th, we're going to move to our fall hours, which is Thursday through Monday, 9:30 to 4:30.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I hope you guys come check it out this weekend if you don't have anything to do. Otherwise, happy back to school. Happy early back to school.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's going to be one last flash in the pan of heat this weekend, this long weekend.
Yeah, because if anyone missed the show earlier, I showed a graphic that indicated school was in session, and I clearly am childless and on no sleep. Yes, kind of the last kick at the can here for summer vacation with the September long weekend. And Mother Nature is serving up plenty of sunshine and heat to send us off in good form. Currently, it's 14 degrees, a few clouds out here. It's looking rather nice. Winds are light out of the south at 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure is steady, humidity at 94%. So my job's pretty easy today because I'm A, delivering a good forecast, and B, it's fairly uniform throughout the province. Much of the province will be dealing with clear sunny skies, maybe a few clouds into the afternoon, particularly in south central regions like Winnipeg. Lighter winds and temperatures very hot in the upper 20s, and certain regions, particularly the southwest, will be cracking at the 30-degree mark. There is a slight chance, about a 30% shot of some rain and thunderstorm activity to the northwest. This is common when there's very hot humidity, high heat as well. That can kind of trigger that sort of instability. Likely, though, it'll stay dry. Overnight tonight in Winnipeg, temperatures dipping down to 16 degrees. Skies remaining partly cloudy, winds remaining light, and tomorrow we get even hotter in Winnipeg. Sunny skies with a high of 31 degrees, and much of the province will be in the same boat. Alrighty, we're going to take a break, pay a couple bills, but stay with us. So much more CTV Morning Live still to come on this Friday. Don't go anywhere.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Looking at the early markets, futures are pointing to a strong open on Wall Street. Dow futures are up 71 points. NASDAQ futures are up by 115. S&P futures also up by 20. The Canadian dollar is seeing a slight dip. Overseas, the Hang Seng is on the rise, up 78 points, while Japan's Nikkei is down 110. Good morning. It is 6:45. Rural municipalities can now start applying for a provincial program that helps fund critical infrastructure. The Manitoba GROW program offers up to 50% of the total cost of capital projects such as roads, waste management, disaster prevention, or community infrastructure. All municipalities outside of Winnipeg are eligible.
We also have a really cool incentive this year. Through the feedback we heard from municipalities, where municipalities can partner on a regional project, have one municipality take the lead and others work together to realize big initiatives.
The minister notes smaller projects like developing parks is acceptable as well. The deadline to apply is October 6th. Ahead of the September long weekend, thousands of Manitobans will be gearing up to head to the lake to enjoy the tail end of summer. But before you jump in, the province is warning of algae bloom levels exceeding acceptable levels in several communities. As CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you now, that includes a popular lake in the city of Morden.
On a Thursday afternoon in Morden, there's nowhere else Rose Weeb would rather be than relaxing by Lake Minnewaska.
Spring, summer, fall, I just love it.
But Thursday, there was something extra to watch out for in the water. The province of Manitoba's website lists Lake Minnewaska as one of 6 beaches where algal samples exceed acceptable safe levels to swim. Algal toxin levels have exceeded 20 micrograms per liter in the lake, and now advisory signs have been posted nearby advising residents not to drink, swim, or make contact with the water.
I swam yesterday. I got a little bit green, but nothing major, and I just showered. I was fine, right? I don't drink the water, but I could swim around in it.
Weeb says this is the first time this year the water has been a murky green color, and overall she feels the lake hasn't been too badly hit by algal blooms. However, Morden Mayor Nancy Penner says after frequently warm weather, it's not the first time the lake has looked like this.
Often at this time of year, the end of August, we get some heat, we get some temperature, we get nutrient load in the lake, and we get an algae bloom.
The mayor says there is no concern for Morden residents drinking the treated water from the lake. That is the city's primary source of drinking water. She says the city wants help from the province to mitigate the growth of algal blooms.
We are waiting on provincial approval to bring in an ultrasonic system that will hopefully deal with the algae blooms. Hopefully we'll have something in place for April of 2026.
Lake Minnewaska isn't the only beach dealing with algae right now. There are 6 others, including Sandy Lake, Pelican Lake North, and Delta Beach. Still, Weeb wants to enjoy the last remaining days of her summer and won't stay away from the lake.
It's warm and we're heading towards school and it's not as crowded. So I love to come now, and especially with the weather being what it is.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Morden.
An active shooter situation in northwest Calgary is over, with people in the neighborhood shocked over what happened.
Never see this sort of activity. It's just not, it's not the type of neighborhood where you would ever get to witness something like that.
Officers were trying to catch a suspect wanted on a Canada-wide warrant in Calgary's Crescent Heights neighborhood. Police say the suspect fired shots into a home, then ran into another house a few doors down with a woman. The suspect also shot at police from inside this house. A shelter-in-place order was called as officers dealt with the situation. The woman eventually surrendered, and the suspect was found dead inside the home. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the incident. A federal commission has now released a scathing review on our country's sports system, calling it broken and in crisis.
Physical punishment, sexual assault, training while injured, humiliation, intimidation, isolation tactics, failures to provide medical care, discrimination, and exploitation.
The Future of Sporting Canada Commission found evidence of widespread abuse and mistreatment at all levels, from children to Olympians. The commission says victims and survivors are often lost in a web of various complaint mechanisms, leaving many feeling helpless and abandoned. It is making 71 recommendations, including the creation of a unified national safe sport tribunal, a new funding model based on compliance, background checks, and a nationwide public registry to flag wrongdoers. People in Shanghai are going inside to cool down and shred. There's sub-zero temperatures inside the indoor skiing theme resort, helping people escape a scorching heat wave. The resort has artificial snow, a mountain background, and ski lifts, along with temperatures of -5. The 98,000 square meter resort was declared the world's largest indoor ski facility in 2024. All right, taking a look outside now at what's going on here at Kenaston and Sterling Lyon. Slowly, things are picking up here, but overall moving quite well. Look at that gorgeous sky. If you see any issues out on the streets, please let us know.
Taking a look outside now, it's 14 degrees under mostly clear skies-ish. Winds are out of the south, they're light. The barometric pressure is steady. The humidity sits at 94%. That ski resort makes me laugh because while we would be in a heat wave here in Winnipeg, we'd never want to go back to winter. We really enjoy those months, so looks pretty neat though. Yeah, farthest thing from winter we've got going on today. Lots of sunshine on the way. Not a lot to report here on the Futurecast. Maybe a smattering of clouds here and there, but for the most part, I have the wrong clicker. Excuse me. For the most part, we're going to be dealing with lots of sunshine. There we go. To the rest of the province we go. Plenty of sunshine, maybe a little bit more cloud coverage, but very hot. 30 degrees in Thompson, 27 in Gillam, 29 in Island Lake. Churchill, very strange. While you're dealing with even warmer temperatures at this hour, you're going to see that mercury dip throughout the day to 12, and that slight chance of some rainfall or thunderstorm activity. That light risk also persists to the northwest, where about a 30% shot of that instability and thunderstorm activity. Highs above seasonal at 30 degrees in Opaskwayak Nation, the Paw and Flin Flon, 31 in Lynn Lake. Into southwest Manitoba, very hot highs. Look at Swan River, 32 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. Meanwhile, us here in Winnipeg dealing with much the same, some increased cloudiness. 29 degrees is what we're up to here in Winnipeg. 22 is what's seasonal. Excuse me, folks, having some issues with my earpiece. Into northwestern Ontario, clear skies, highs of 26 degrees. In Kenora, 25 in Dryden, 25 in Fort Francis. There, it's fixed. Okay, in terms of our 7-day forecast, wow, is that mercury set to soar, particularly into tomorrow. 31 degrees under clear sunny skies. Sunday, much the same, throwing a little bit more in the way of cloud coverage. Monday, we start to see that temperature start to take a dive, not severely. 26 is what we're looking at under a mix of sun and cloud, but overnight we're likely to get some showers cooling us off, and we're back down to reality on Tuesday with a high of 21 under the clouds.
Thank you, Catherine. A product with a decades-long connection to this country is about to lose part of its Canadian spirit. The maker of Crown Royal revealing Thursday it will close its bottling plant in Amherstburg, Ontario in the new year, shifting some operations south of the border during the Canada-U.S. trade war. CTV's Adrian Gobriel on why the company says it's making the move and how many jobs will be lost in Ontario.
Locals say this plant in the small town of Amherstburg, Ontario, has been a lifeline in this community for nearly a century.
I feel most for the people who are the 160 people who are losing their job. It was the largest employer in Amherstburg.
Crown Royal's parent company, the British-based Diageo, says the bottling plant, which is just a short drive from the Windsor-Detroit border, is in part moving some bottling volume to be closer to its many U.S. Crown Royal consumers. Canadian union leaders believe the company is kneeling to U.S. President Donald Trump's trade threats.
It sounds like it to me, and they need to move it closer to the U.S. They're building a plant in Alabama as we speak. I think they have enough businesses there.
A company spokesperson told CTV News connecting this decision to U.S.-imposed tariffs on Canadian goods would be inaccurate, pointing out that Crown Royal will continue to be mashed, distilled, blended, and aged in Canada, just as it has been since 1939.
We have the highest unemployment in the community in Canada, so it's not like there's a lot of jobs that they can just go to.
While the multinational Diageo has promised to do everything it can to support workers, the company will be shuttering operations in Amherstburg in February, leaving a bitter taste in the mouth of those who call this town of 24,000 home.
We need to maintain the jobs. Without the jobs, we become a bedroom community, and I, as mayor, do not want that. This is a major blow.
The company says Crown Royal products destined for Canadian and non-U.S. markets will continue to be bottled in Valleyfield, Quebec. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
A family farm near Red Deer, Alberta has been operating for decades. One of its highlights is providing a hands-on experience for guests. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on the farm's legacy and how it stays connected to the community.
The jungle farm in Red Deer has been in Leona Staples' family for more than a century.
Since then, it's just come through the generations. So I am the fourth generation that's been farming on the exact same land.
While the name might suggest exotic animals on site, it's actually a produce farm growing all kinds of fruits and vegetables.
Zucchini and potatoes and peas and beans and broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage and beets and Swiss chard and corn.
Their farm operates by letting people come and pick their own produce, a highlight for children when visiting. What do you like about being on the farm?
Picking strawberries. I like picking carrots. Strawberries look really good, so I'm excited to eat them.
Staples says their strawberry fields are a fan favorite.
No better strawberry than a strawberry picked at 4 o'clock in the afternoon where it's swarmed from the sun all day, nice and red strawberry, and the juices drip out of it.
A hands-on experience is important for Staples. She says having people pick the produce they eat, especially children, gives them a better understanding of where their food comes from.
I just had a note from a mom who was in our ABC program who said, there is nothing more beautiful than having my daughter chomp on cauliflower like it was an ice cream cone.
Just gives them the experience of picking berries out in a farm instead of buying it at the farmer's market or in the store.
Education is part of the Jungle Farm's mission.
It's a huge part of Alberta to have the farms available and here to pick fresh produce and support our local economy.
You don't need your own farm to flex your green thumb, giving people a chance to pick their produce right from the source. In Red Deer, Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News.
Here's a look at what's happening on Notre Dame Avenue. Things look great. We'll be back after this break. On Friday, August 29th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. The long weekend is here. We're very excited about that. We're going to find out what's in store for you for the forecast, but we're also going to learn about the End Homelessness Winnipeg Street Census numbers that were just released earlier this week. We're going to talk about some of the numbers and why they're really concerning and what it means for our city and what the solution might be. But first, your headlines. A successful search, what police discovered at a Winnipeg homeless encampment. Plus, driving change, why adjustments could be coming to Winnipeg Transit's transfer times. And a spiky specimen, what we know about a recent dinosaur discovery. Bringing in Catherine Dow now, who's in for Terry this morning, and we're heading into the long weekend. Everybody wants to know, is it going to be a good one? Can we sit outside? Can we enjoy the sun? What are we going to see?
I have the best job today because, yes, I'm delivering a very hot, very sunny forecast. And wow, look how stunning this sunrise is. 14 degrees with a couple clouds there joining us and a little bug to boot. Winds out of the south at 8 kilometers per hour. The barometric pressure is steady. The humidity sits at 94%. I never felt more Canadian than when I said to boot. Okay, not a lot to show you on our radar. A little bit of a smattering of cloud coverage in the south here. Clearer skies expected to the north. Meanwhile, our futurecast doesn't even pick it up, but there is a slight chance of some instability, maybe some rainfall or thunderstorm in the northwest and into Churchill. So as the day progresses, not even a blip to show that. If you get anything in that kind of area, it will be very light, very disorganized, not amounting to much in terms of rainfall. For us here in the south, we start to see those clouds build into the late afternoon, sticking around overnight. While there is a little bit of cloud coverage, a good amount, I should say, in northern Manitoba to kick us off on Saturday, that'll clear out in due time, bringing very hot highs in the upper 20s to low 30s, above seasonal all throughout the province. And as a result, not a lot to tell you about because it's going to be quite sunny. We are tracking this system here. There is a slight chance of some rainfall coming overnight Sunday to parts of northern Manitoba. Backtracking to today, a high high of 29 degrees here in Winnipeg under that mix of sun and cloud, light southwesterly winds. Temperatures dipping down to 16 degrees. Saturday, get the AC ready because we're looking at a high of 31 degrees with lots of sunshine. A mix of sun and cloud on tap for Sunday with the high of 30. We lose a little bit of heat on Monday with the high of 26. Overnight, we'll likely get some showers, cooling us off into Tuesday with a more seasonal high of 21 degrees. And your weather art of the day, Jeremy drew this one. I believe, is that on the sidewalk? Good for you. Good. I like the use of different sort of mediums here as we head into our weather art of the day. Thank you so much for submitting, and keep your weather pictures coming. You can email those entries to winnipegweather@ctv.ca. Include a photo of your kids' weather-themed drawings and sketches along with their name and age. And we're featuring one artwork every day at 7 a.m. right here on CTV Morning Live.
We're learning more about what Winnipeg police seized when they raided a homeless encampment Wednesday. Police say they recovered dozens of bike parts from a chop shop on the riverbank. This after officers first obtained a search warrant before raiding a wood structure which is in a public park. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel on what they found inside.
A day after raiding a temporary wood structure being used as a bike chop shop in a riverbank encampment, Winnipeg police say they found dozens of bike frames and tires.
Numerous items that have currently been seized as evidence in relation to our investigation.
Police say over the last few months they received reports that property crime was occurring in this camp on Waterfront Drive. An investigation began and police moved in. They recovered 50 bicycle frames, 77 bicycle tires, 53 bicycle tire rims, 5 bicycle tires with rims, a gas generator, lawnmower, pressure washer, and a wheelchair. 3 people were arrested, but only 2 faced charges. And in what police believe is a first for them, they obtained a warrant in order to execute a search of the encampment structure.
So we have treated this like any other criminal investigation in the city of Winnipeg that involves a person's residence by obtaining a search warrant.
CTV News spoke to some residents and people who work in the waterfront area. They did not want to appear on camera, but questioned why a warrant would be necessary when the homeless camp is in a public park. Lawyer Chris Gamby says it comes down to privacy rights. He says they don't necessarily attach to a specific place. They can attach to a person and their interest in that place.
If that individual can articulate that that is in fact their home and they can demonstrate that they have a right to privacy in that space, the courts then may find that they be entitled to some relief.
And Gamby says by getting the warrant, the onus shifts to the defense to prove there is an issue with the search instead of the Crown having to justify the police officer's actions.
Frankly, I think it's smart police work on their end, and it shows that they're being diligent with what they're doing.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Police say a 39-year-old man and a 57-year-old man are both facing a charge of possession of property obtained by crime under $5,000. Both were released on undertakings. There's a drive at City Hall to increase the transfer time for riding Winnipeg transit buses. Right now, when you get on a bus and pay the fare, you get a transfer. That transfer allows you to ride as many buses as you need for 75 minutes. St. Vital Councillor Brian Mays has submitted a motion to increase that time to 90 minutes. He says he's heard from constituents that under the new transit system, passengers are experiencing longer rides with more transfers and longer wait times. Mays says lengthening the transfer time window is a simple, low-cost way to make things easier on transit riders.
People are just going to have longer trips and longer, possibly longer wait times to get buses. So it seemed a reasonable compromise. I don't think it'll be a big hit in terms of fares. And do you really want people paying twice on the same trip? That doesn't seem like what we're after. We're trying to encourage people to take transit.
Mays says he hasn't done a cost analysis and the idea is far from becoming a reality. The move now goes to the Riel Community Committee. If passed, it will then go to the Public Works Committee. School divisions in Winnipeg are making plans to ensure education continues for Manitobans displaced by wildfires this summer.
Some folks have expressed, perhaps are facing loss of home, loss of time. And so as a division, we really want to wrap our arms around the students and the families to address their social emotional needs and to be able to provide a place of normalcy.
One of those is the St. James Assiniboia School Division, which is preparing to welcome students from evacuated communities to their schools when classes resume next week. The division says plans are in place to ensure a smooth transition when students are able to return to their home communities. The province says the Education and Early Childhood Learning Department has been working on back-to-school plans for evacuated children throughout the summer. It's the end of an era as duty-free shipping to the U.S. ends today, with many Canadian businesses bracing for a financial hit. Starting today, the United States is eliminating the de minimis exemption, which has allowed packages worth $800 or less to ship to the U.S. without duties. Now, full duties will be collected on all global packages entering the U.S. Experts say some Canadian businesses are likely to lose U.S. customers, as the change will make products more expensive. Last year, almost 1.4 billion packages worth more than $64 billion entered America without being charged duties. We now know the names of the 2 children killed in the Minneapolis mass shooting.
Please remember Fletcher for the person he was and not the act that ended his life. Give your kids an extra hug and kiss today. We love you, Fletcher. You'll always be with us.
The father of 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel said his son loved his family, cooking, and sports. 10-year-old Harper Moisky was described as bright, joyful, and deeply loved. The 2 children were killed and 18 others were hurt when an attacker fired almost 120 shots through the windows of a church. Investigators say the attacker had no criminal record and no known mental health diagnosis. There was nothing preventing the shooter from legally buying the guns used in the attack. More news today about an alarming disease being seen down south. Cases of flesh-eating screwworm in animals is on the rise in Mexico. The country has recorded more than 5,000 cases as of August 17th, a 53% jump from the number of cases reported in July. That's according to Mexican government data seen by Reuters. The vast majority of cases were identified in cattle, though Mexican government data also showed infestations in dogs, horses, and sheep. Screwworms are parasites that eat warm-blooded animals alive and can devastate cattle herds and local wildlife. Earlier this week, the first human case in the United States was reported in a person who had recently traveled to El Salvador. Scientists have discovered a dinosaur with some heavy-duty armor. It's called the Spike-O-Melus, which roamed the Earth about 165 million years ago. Its skeleton suggests it had spikes on its side, back, neck, and tail. It may be easier to list the body parts without spikes. If you think it must have been hard to move around with so much armor, you may be right. This type of dinosaur evolved to have simpler armor. Here's what's happening now on Norwood Bridge. It looks like a good start to the day so far. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Children's Museum. It's a great place to visit all year long, but this weekend will be especially great because there's an exhibit that's going to be gone after this weekend. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, Attack of the Bloodsuckers is in its final days. You can see live mosquitoes and leeches, and I think they did their last feeding, so you can't see that, but there's tons of interactive pieces in there as well. Back to school is just around the corner, and back to school can mean something different for everyone. Of course, for those kids so eager to go back, but also for the moms and dads who are staying home with the tots. Here at the Children's Museum, they have mini Mondays, so kids 4 and under can come for various art activities, one of which we're going to be doing this morning, glow-in-the-dark art, and so much more. A good opportunity, too, for parents to connect and meet. There's also, coinciding with Nuit Blanche and Culture Days, is that event for the kids. Tons to see, tons to do, and the classics, of course. We can't not talk about the classics, Rochelle.
Oh, yeah, the train is awesome. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. A lot of people are going to want to be outside this long weekend. It's going to be a hot one.
I'm so sorry, Rochelle. I couldn't quite hear you there. I'm going to just tell you how it's feeling out here. It's feeling gorgeous and sunny. Some very light winds. It's 13 degrees currently. This earpiece is giving me a challenge on this Friday. Winds are out of the southeast. The pressure was steady. It's now rising. The humidity sits at 96%. So in terms of the day, we're going to be dealing with plenty of sunshine and heat. Just how hot? Likely highs into the upper 20s, maybe low 30s for certain places. Of course, with that amount of heat, heat and humidity, that also means there is a chance for some lone thunderstorm or rainfall activity. Particularly the northwest has a chance of that. Churchill as well, about a 30% shot, so you're likely to stay quite dry. The rest of us here will be dealing with that sunshine. Overnight tonight, temperatures dipping down to 16 degrees. Skies remaining partly cloudy in Winnipeg, winds remaining light. Tomorrow even hotter with a high of 31 in Winnipeg. We're likely not going to see that heat really cut until Tuesday. Overnight into Tuesday, we start to see some rainfall, and then we're back down to seasonal. So all this to say Labor Day is shaping up to be very hot and above seasonal throughout all of Manitoba, not just here. But back to school, yes, we do have a coming back down to reality, if you will. We're below seasonal in time for midweek next week.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's time to check in now on our question of the day. We're asking how you plan to spend the last long weekend of summer. Just a quick reminder, our question of the day has moved from Twitter. So now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing. We want to see more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. We're going to take a break here. Here's a look at what's happening on the Putavache Bridge. Smooth drive so far this morning. We'll be back after this. Good morning, it is 7:16. Doctors Manitoba is joining the chorus of voices expressing concern about the rise in violent incidents in and around Health Sciences Centre. A new survey of its members found the number of incidents at the hospital is nearly double the provincial average. Roughly 30% of the physicians there experienced nearly one physical safety incident a month over the previous year. And HSC accounts for 45% of all physical safety incidents reported to them in the past 12 months. This includes everything from being punched, kicked, and spat on. Doctors Manitoba says this is unacceptable and is calling on Shared Health and HSC to find and fix safety security gaps as they're identified, rather than waiting for a full report to be made before action is taken. In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for Shared Health writes in part, "Over the past 2 years, we have taken steps based on recommendations we heard from the unions and directly from frontline workers. These recommendations have led to physical improvements to the site, including additional lights, cameras, stationed security, AI weapon scanners, and reducing the number of unsecured public entrances. And we continue to work toward further changes." One of Canada's key economic indicators is pointing in the wrong direction.
Certainly bodes for our Prime Minister and his negotiating team to get a deal struck as soon as possible with the Trump administration, because these are painful numbers.
Data from Statistics Canada says Canada recorded a $19.5 billion deficit in goods and services trade during the second quarter. That's up from $800 million in the first quarter. Stats Can says this jump happened as U.S. tariffs hit and as the loonie went up. The City of Winnipeg is taking another step towards getting smart water meters in your home. The city has put out a request for proposals to implement an advanced metering infrastructure system. It asks applicants to create a data collection network with citywide coverage. They'll also have to supply compatible water meters and software. Companies have until September 18th to submit applications. This lemonade stand has been a huge success. It was set up by a young group of girls in Midland, Ontario. Besides lemonade, the girls also brought in the crowds with freezies, chips, and a pinball machine raffle. To give back, the girls are donating $1,000 to the Georgian Bay Food Network. And here's a look now what's going on in traffic along the St. James Bridge. It looks like a smooth drive. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, send them to us. It's on our X page.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Time now for some entertainment news. It's not often you get to watch a documentary and then hear directly from the subjects of the film, but that's what's happening at a special screening at Winnipeg's Government House next month.
Oh, goosebumps.
The sun came out at that moment.
We were her and she was us.
Coronation Girls tells the story of 50 young women who sailed across the Atlantic Ocean in 1953 to witness the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. It uses archival footage and then follows the women decades later as they retrace the trip and reflect on the experience. After the film screening, you'll get to hear a live panel discussion with the filmmaker and 3 of the Manitoba women featured in the documentary. The free event is happening September 11th, but you'll need to register ahead of time by calling the office of the Lieutenant Governor. A local country band is headlining a night full of homegrown Manitoba talent. Petrick is bringing a night of country music to the Burton Cummings Theatre on October 25th. The band just finished opening for Country Thunder last month. They're also bringing a lineup of other local country artists with them, including Katie St. Germain, Leanne Pearson, and Sean Taylor. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with Celebrity Jeopardy, then at 8, Neighborhood Disputes, and all the drama that goes with them comes your way with back-to-back episodes of Fear Thy Neighbor.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Taking a check-in outside, 13 degrees with plenty of sunshine to kick us off. Winds out of the south-southeast. The pressure's rising. The humidity sits at 96%. You know, honestly, I've got a pretty sweet gig today because we are in store for a gorgeous weekend ahead. Very hot. You can tell we're already off to a very warm start throughout much of the province. 17 in Portage La Prairie. Dauphin at 16. Quite a bit cooler in Brandon at 11. Looks like over in Sprague, 13, 12 in Pinawa. Very similar temperatures to the north. I want to draw your attention though to Churchill, 15 degrees, so on par with the rest of us. However, as the day progresses, most places in Manitoba will be hitting highs into the upper 20s or low 30s, while Churchill will fall. They're looking at a high of just 12 degrees, losing a lot of heat. They are a misnomer though. It's going to be a very hot day and a very sunny one, as evidenced by our radar. Not a lot of cloud coverage. You are seeing that slight disturbance there. That's the region where there is a slight chance, about a 30% shot of rainfall or thunderstorm activity off and on throughout today. If you get anything at all, it'll be very unorganized and not very substantial. So that's the good news. Also good news, maybe bad news, depending on your taste for weather. It's going to be very, very hot. So we're starting off already in the upper teens. We're cracking the 20-degree mark, usually by 10 a.m. And from there, we are soaring. 22 is what's typical for us here in Winnipeg. We're hitting a high of 29 degrees. And look at Swan River, 32, likely the hot spot of the province today. And we're going to continue that trend into the rest of the Labor Day long weekend. 31 degrees tomorrow under plenty more sunshine, lighter winds expected. Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud, not too shabby at 30. We start to lose a bit of heat on Monday under a mix of sun and cloud with 26 degrees. Showers likely overnight, cutting that heat down to 21 on Tuesday. In your CTV Morning Live picture of the day, Melissa snapped this lovely picture on Lundar Beach of that lovely sunset. How many times can I say lovely? Thank you, Melissa, for submitting. And if you have any lovely or otherwise weather photos, we'd love to see them. You can email those to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Catherine. Contractor by day, hero by night. This man ended up fighting crime in his community all while dressed in Batman pajamas.
I got a hold of their shirt and their right wrist, and I told him, I said, listen, don't try to get away.
After getting an alert on his phone at 2 a.m., Kyle Myvitt jumped out of bed to run outside in his southeast Cape Coral, Florida neighborhood. He said he found a possible burglar in his neighbor's garage and swooped in. The suspect had managed to steal more than $800 in personal items, but police showed up quickly to make the arrest. The Labor Day Classic kicks off in Regina Sunday at 6 with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers facing the Saskatchewan Roughriders. CTV's Donovan Mess has a look back at where it all began.
Labor Day and football go hand in hand in Saskatchewan.
It's been part of my childhood, which was a long time ago.
And the rivalry which it hosts each weekend is one Rider historian Rob Vanstone believes is the CFL's best.
You have two teams at a certain echelon playing in this game. It takes it to a tier that's even higher, and that's a pretty high tier to begin with.
All beginning 76 years ago, September 5th, 1949, the first Labor Day Classic played on a Monday afternoon between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Saskatchewan Roughriders at Old Taylor Field.
There's a crowd of 7,500 in attendance, which would be the biggest crowd to ever see a football game in the province up to that point.
While the Bombers were running one of their plays, and the dog almost timed the waggle perfectly for the Bombers play near their goal line.
Lots has changed in the nearly 8 decades since the blossom of this all-time matchup.
The 1951 game here was the first one that I think you would call a classic.
But each of the previous 59 games has lived up to its name.
This will go quarterback. Barry Joseph, touchdown!
Producing classic moments.
That's the one that would win in terms of being the iconic play in this iconic game.
Career-defining games.
It's a walk-off game winner for Brett Lowther.
Spectacular finishes.
1983 game. Riders won 32-30 on a 41-yard field goal.
And even some heartbreak.
Has the accuracy, but it's short.
A game even the players know feels different.
Heard fans say, like, I don't care how many games you win, just beat Winnipeg on Labor Day, so there's a lot of passion there.
And the hope Labor Day will continue to bring classics for another 60 years. Donovan, CTV News, Regina.
Ainsley is live at the Children's Museum. There's lots going on here this long weekend, as well as after kids go back to school. Stay with us for more on that. Ainsley McPhail is live at the Children's Museum this morning. We've been talking about the exhibit that is there, but also they're preparing for what's coming up later in September, including Nuit Blanche. Good morning.
Yeah, Rochelle, and we love it in the city, but I think our kids should have an opportunity to take in the culture as well. It coincides with Culture Days. Brady Kidd joins me to tell us all about what's going on here on September 27th.
Yeah, so we have a mini Nuit Blanche happening on September 27th. It's going to be a great event. We have Pink Panda, a creative artist, coming in with a nice big glow-in-the-dark collaborative art feature that kids can have a lot of fun with. We also have an awesome craft going on as well during that time. It's going to be a glow-in-the-dark featured craft as well to kind of tie in with that. As you can kind of see here a little bit, we got some awesome glow-in-the-dark rocks that will be an amazing artwork. Yeah, not that one. We got the other ones here that are very much glow-in-the-dark, but it will be a great time and some awesome painting fun that evening. We will also yeah, it's honestly just going to be a great event to bring your kids to, get them involved in culture and art in the city, and just a really good, safe environment to do so.
And let's talk about that a little bit more, because, I mean, Nuit Blanche is so great for adults to take in and really expand their minds. Here at the museum, you're emulating those same practices, just with the smaller ones.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we have these great artists coming in all the time with different features, and we can kind of help with fine motor skills and stuff like that at the same time through painting and artwork and stuff like that. So it's just a good way to explore culture, art, and then also help the kids learning in different ways as well. What
you've seen too with the various activities, because there is a variety, even if they're taking in the the Bloodsuckers exhibition. What are the benefits of having a space like this?
It's just a really good, safe space to have that environment. Parents can feel safe in having their kids here doing these awesome activities with us. I would say that's kind of one of the bigger features, especially. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I love, Rochelle, how he was like, it's helping kids with their fine motor skills, and I'm left-handed. I'm trying to use my right hand on it. I'm like, I think I could use that as well.
Well, it's getting there. You're going to do a good job, I'm sure. Thank you, Ainsley. And we're heading into the long weekend, and the heat is back.
Can we talk about the fact that Brady Kidd is his name, and he works at the Children's Museum?
It's perfect.
It's kind of like us having a weather gal named Terry Gale,
Exactly.
It just works out. Yeah, sorry, Rochelle, I couldn't get my mind off that. We are in store for a really lovely weekend ahead, and a very hot one at that. Skies are clearing out there at 13 degrees, and our friend is back here, that little bug. He loves the camera, clearly. Winds are out of the south-southeast at 12 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure is rising, and the humidity sits at 96%. Lots of sunshine on the way and lots of heat. A slight bit of instability to warn you about. You see it popping up here. It's mostly coming to the northwest, about a 30% shot of maybe rainfall or thunderstorm activity. Likely, though, it won't amount to anything. Most of the province is in store for lots of sunshine, including us here in Winnipeg. A high of 29 degrees, 22 is what's seasonal, and we're going to be staying far away from that mark for a good couple of days. Increasing cloudiness, as mentioned, likely later on into the afternoon. Winds out of the southwest. Into Catherine, wow, I keep really giving this too much of a click, if you will. 16 degrees is what you just missed on that graphic if you blinked. Skies remaining partly cloudy, winds remaining light. I guess I was just so excited to get to tomorrow because I do love the heat and I'm already sad to see summer going. 31 degrees, so it won't feel like it's ending. Mostly sunny skies and those southerly winds. Sunday, another very hot day, 30 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. Monday, we lose a touch of heat and then we're back down to seasonal by Tuesday.
Thanks, Catherine. Manitoba's Auditor General says a rural municipality failed to properly investigate a cyber attack that resulted in the loss of hundreds of thousands of dollars. The breach led to the municipality of Westlake Gladstone losing more than $472,000 over a few weeks in 2019 and 2020. The AG's report says once officials found out about the attack, they didn't investigate how it happened and missed an opportunity to prevent future breaches. It also looked into allegations of mismanagement at half a dozen other RMs involving purchasing protocols, claims for ineligible expenses, and improper governance. Recommendations include better cybersecurity training, more oversight in issuing grants, and better checks and balances for municipal finances. Ahead of the September long weekend, thousands of Manitobans will be heading to the lake to enjoy the tail end of summer. But before you jump in, the province is warning about algae blooms that exceed safe levels in several communities, including a popular lake in Morden.
I swam yesterday. I got a little bit green, but nothing major, and I just showered. I was fine, right? I don't drink the water, but I could swim around in it.
Rose Weeb loves relaxing by Lake Minnewaska, but this week the province listed it among 6 beaches where algae levels exceed safety limits. Toxins are above 20 micrograms per liter, with signs now urging people not to drink, swim, or touch the water. Weeb says this is the first time this year the water has turned that murky green. Morden Mayor Nancy Penner says it's happened before, and there's no concern for residents using the city's treated drinking water. But she says the city wants help from the province to mitigate the growth of algae blooms.
We are waiting on provincial approval to bring in an ultrasonic system that will hopefully deal with the algae blooms. Hopefully we'll have something in place for April of 2026.
Lake Minnewaska isn't alone. 6 other beaches, including Sandy Lake, Pelican Lake North, and Delta Beach, are also dealing with algae blooms. Still, Weeb says she plans to make the most of summer's final days, green water or not. The Quebec government says it's moving ahead with a plan to ban all prayer in public spaces.
The idea that states have to protect the freedom of conscience, of religion, of expression, of assembly, and the ban of public prayer is exactly the opposite of these principles.
The legislation is due to be tabled this fall and comes after Premier François Legault said he didn't want to see people praying in public parks or streets. The legislation would be part of a larger push by the province's coalition Avenir Québec government to expand secularism rules. The Canadian Muslim Forum says it's deeply concerned by the news, saying a blanket ban stigmatizes communities and fuels exclusion. This morning, Israel says it has recovered the bodies of 2 hostages. The bodies of Ilan Weiss and another unnamed hostage have been returned to Israel. There are about 50 hostages still in Gaza. Also this morning, people are packing up and leaving Gaza City, with Israel now in the initial stages of its planned offensive. As part of this offensive, Israel has suspended midday pauses in fighting, which provided a vital window to bring food and aid into Gaza.
It's very evident that there's not enough food.
The head of the World Food Program is sharing her firsthand experience seeing the struggles in Gaza. Cindy McCain says she had the chance to speak with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the urgent need for more aid. The UN says famine in Gaza will spread across the territory unless there is a ceasefire and an end to restrictions on aid. Did you know the biggest cat in the Americas is the jaguar, and its population has taken a big jump in Mexico, where they are listed as an endangered species. Officials say bigger protections are allowing jaguars to roam free and boost population. There are more than 5,000 jaguars in Mexico, 30% more than in 2010. And here's what's happening now on Osborne Street. Looks like things are still quite light over here, moving quite well starting off this Friday morning. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.38. The provincial average is $1.40. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.41 per litre. The lowest price in the city is $1.34. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
And right now, we are sitting at 13 degrees. We'll be back after this with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
We end the work week under the sunshine. 13 degrees, couple clouds, and that bug loves the camera. Winds out of the south-southeast. The barometric pressure is rising. The humidity sits at 96%. Haze coming from my job, I tell you. Alrighty, not a lot to report on our radar, except for, you see that in the corner of your screen there, those little flutterings of thunderstorms. Slight chance of some rainfall and thunderstorms in the northwest. Likely today, with this amount of humidity, that sort of instability can be very possible. So while it's not a certainty, there is still that chance, so keep that in mind. To the northeast, Churchill is certainly in that camp, but the rest of the region likely dealing with a mix of sun and cloud and very hot temperatures above seasonal by a good margin. 30 degrees in Thompson, 27 in Gillam, 29 in Island Lake. Very interesting in Churchill. It's already warmer there to kick off the day than it will be later on today. The temperatures will fall to 12 degrees, kind of an outlier. The rest of us, though, are dealing with this upper ridge of pressure that's sparking some very warm temperatures. And again, that possibility of thunderstorm activity through this stretch. Likely Lynn Lake will stay dry. This region will too as well, I should say. It's only about a 30% shot, so I want to manage expectations. Highs, though, in the low 30-degree mark, so very humid, certainly. Southwestern Manitoba, much the same. Even warmer in Swan River, likely to be the hot spot of the province today under a mix of sun and cloud. For us here in Winnipeg and other south-central regions, sunny skies, some clouds joining us into the afternoon, light southwesterly winds, highs in the upper 20s to lower 30s. Northwestern Ontario, much the same, a few degrees cooler with a mix of sun and cloud. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to 16 under partly cloudy skies, and tomorrow, wow, it's going to be a hot one. Get the AC ready. 31 degrees, and Sundays not too shabby either.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Children's Museum. You're reading. That's nice.
Rochelle, do you have a favorite children's book?
I have several, actually.
What's yours?
Oh, I don't know.
Are they French?
I read a lot of French books that nobody would know. Oh, look at you, Génie. I like it.
Oh, so, see, a household favorite. Et la petite fille explosée. No, and I don't actually know how to say that. Is that just boom in French? Ouch. I think ouch is universal.
Pretty good. I'm impressed.
It totally should be. That's awesome. Okay, Suprova Huckabee joins us now. We're talking about Mini Mondays. Reading and story time is a big part of that. Kids 4 and under can take part.
Yes. Our Mini Mondays will be starting September 15th with including a story time, as we said, as well as a craft and an activity to help develop both their fine motor skills and get them more interested in the world around them. So we will be focusing mostly on the fine motor skills, but also incorporating a lot of different things that kids might be interested in, like colors and trees and patterns.
It sounds really thoughtful. Like you guys have put a lot into this to make sure that the little ones, you know, get all of that when they leave the house. You've brought something for us today.
Yes, one of our first activities has to do with trees and counting, helping little kids develop those numeracy skills as well as their fine motor skills with the clothespins. So having them match up both the number on the clothespin with the number of apples on the tree helps them get both those counting skills in, plus the fine motor skills of pinching and holding. So, yeah, that's one of our first activities for the month.
I love that this is for 3-year-olds, and it was math, and I immediately got overwhelmed. I'm like, am I not going to understand this activity? But this is something you can do at home. That's another great thing. You can take these activities and bring them to your own kitchen table.
Yeah, there's stuff that we can do at home, but we're hoping to introduce a couple more things that we can also do outside of the home as well. So there is a great reason to come to the museum, hopefully interact with other folks, meet new moms, and just interact with other kids their age as well.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, super social and kind of a helpful tool to get out of the house if you have other kids in school.
Yeah, exactly. Getting kids out of the house too, getting them somewhere else, somewhere they can have fun with other kids their age.
Awesome. Thank you so much. The end. Fini. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ainsley. We're getting a first-hand look at the devastation caused by Nova Scotia's largest wildfire. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth was there with one family as they saw how the flames devoured their home.
When James Milner first heard the news, it was his worst fears realized. 20 homes in the West Dalhousie area are destroyed, including Milner's.
Well, they called me and told me my house was flat, gone, nothing left. Burnt to the ground.
Milner and his partner, Donna Ruggles, evacuated their home almost 2 weeks ago. In a last-minute rush, they grabbed some belongings and fled the area.
I got one pair of boots, one pair of socks, one pair of joggers, one shirt.
James Milner hopes to rebuild his home someday, but for now, he doesn't know where the money will come from. How's your insurance?
None. You can't afford insurance nowadays, the way they charge everything.
The Long Lake wildfire is massive, about 82 square kilometers in size, and is burning in the remote, deep woods, making it difficult to contain. As crews continue to work in dangerous conditions, volunteers and county officials are focused on helping the evacuees and those who have lost their homes.
We feel for these people, and we're trying to do and find avenues to support these people.
Annapolis County Deputy Warden Dustin Enslow says people who live here are braced for more homes to be lost as this wildfire continues to burn out of control. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Annapolis Royal, Nova Scotia.
It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy 8th birthday to Juliana, with love from your grandparents, mom, and sisters. Happy 25th birthday to Sherlina. Lots of love from your parents, brothers, and daughter Mackenzie. Happy 12th birthday to Dane, with love from your dad, sisters, aunties, and cousin. Happy 60th birthday to Rob. Lots of love from your wife, Sharon. Happy 7th and 4th birthday to Benjamin and Walker. Love mom, dad, and Ellie. Happy engagement to Ainsley and CJ. Congratulations, with love from mom and dad. Happy 8th birthday to Mackenzie. Love your parents, Stewie, Jack, Oscar, and Clover. Happy 9th birthday to Lucas and Leo. Love from mom, dad, Marcus, Nanny, and Papa. Happy anniversary to Cameron and Sylvia, with love from your family and the community members of SKO. Happy 61st birthday to Dallas, with love from your family. And a happy 38th anniversary to Mike and Gloria, with love from your family and friends. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's Celebrate, brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. CTV Morning Live Weather, brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Just a lovely start to the Friday, and take it from me, if you do not like the humidity, now is a good time to get outside and enjoy, because it is going to become a bit of a scorcher out there. Currently we're at 13 degrees. There's a few clouds. They will be dissipating soon. Winds are out of the southeast. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 96%. So we are dealing with a good amount of heat, care of an upper ridge that's sort of locking in those very warm temperatures, at least for the next couple of days, likely for the entire long weekend. So what does that look like for us here in southern Manitoba? Highs in the upper 20s to low 30s. Swan River could see a high as scorching as 32 degrees. With that extreme heat, of course, comes the slight chance of some rainfall and thunderstorm activity. About a 30% shot of that happening mostly in the northwest. The rest of us staying dry and sunny. Overnight temperatures dipping down throughout Manitoba to the mid-teens. Partly cloudy skies, some lighter winds. Tomorrow, even hotter in certain places. Here in Winnipeg, we're looking at a high of 31 with lots of sunshine.
Thanks, Catherine. The city of Winnipeg is seeing the highest level of homelessness since 2015, according to estimates gathered in a recent street census. On Tuesday, End Homelessness Winnipeg released some results of its 2024 Winnipeg Street Census. Joining us now to give a more in-depth look at some of the numbers is Elijah Osei-Yaboa, the program lead for End Homelessness Winnipeg Street Census. Good morning, Elijah.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. Now, break down some of the numbers we're seeing in our city when it comes to homelessness. What did you find?
So first off, we were able to identify 2,464 people who experienced homelessness. And this is the first time we've ever recorded such a high number. I also want to caution against comparing this number with findings from the previous street census reports, because what we do is after every street census, we evaluate the projects and we try to learn and improve the methodology. So for last year, we changed the methodology significantly. One was we extended the survey period from a day to 5 days. So we started on November 06 November. It continued the next day, 07 November, 08 November, 09 November, and the last day was 12 November. And by extending the survey period, we were able to reach a lot more people. Another change that we also made was we collaborated more with outreach teams because we wanted to honor the strong relationships that they have built with those experiencing homelessness. They also required less training because they were already working in the sector. And the last major change that we made was we were able to successfully conduct 2 magnets or community events. These community events targeted newcomers because we had heard that a lot more newcomers were coming into Winnipeg. So these were the 3 major changes that we made to the methodology.
Why do you think our numbers are so high?
It reflects the housing crisis that we are facing, not just in Winnipeg, but in the whole of Canada. Calgary, Edmonton, they've already released their street census numbers, and their numbers have also gone up. Elsewhere in Canada, I have heard that their numbers have also gone up. So clearly we are in a housing crisis, and there's a lot that has to be done to address the situation.
Which demographic is the most vulnerable to experience homelessness right now?
Unfortunately, it's our Indigenous brothers and sisters. Indigenous people constitute about 80% of the unhoused population. First Nations alone constitute over 62%. And to put this into perspective, Indigenous people, based on the 2021 National Census, they constituted 12.4% of Winnipeg's population. However, when it comes to homelessness, they are as high as 80% of the unhoused population.
Elijah, thank you for breaking down the numbers for us. We really appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. All right, coming up, we are live at the Children's Museum this morning with our Ainsley McPhail. We're going to find out what's going on there this weekend, as well as opening up the fall season. Stay with us. Welcome back. We did not have this photo earlier, but we have it now, so we're sending a very happy 38th anniversary to Mike and Gloria with love from your family and friends. This lemonade stand has been a huge success. It was set up by a young group of girls in Midland, Ontario. Besides lemonade, the girls also brought in the crowds with freezies, chips, and a pinball machine raffle. To give back, the girls are donating $1,000 to the Georgian Bay Food Network.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. We are taking a trip to Flushing Meadows. Yes, some U.S. Open action. Canadian Gabriel Diallo pulling off a tweener before attacking the short ball and hits the forehand winner. My goodness, that is a phenomenal point from the Canadian. Now, he did lose the match in straight sets, but that right there, your must-see moment. Silky smooth. Meanwhile, today on TSN, we've got continuing coverage of the U.S. Open at 10 a.m. Central Time. Leila Annie Fernandez is slated to face #1 seed Aryna Sabalenka in the evening session. So enjoy the tennis. Have a fantastic long weekend. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Friday. say thank you so much for staying with us as we head into the long weekend at 8:27. We're going to have an interview about the Prairie Comics Festival. That's coming up at the Manitoba Museum, not this weekend, but next weekend. It will include workshops, a marketplace, some amazing artists, as well as some really cool things. So you're going to want to stay tuned for details on that, but first your headlines. Doctors sound the alarm as violence at HSC nearly double the provincial average. Plus, duty-free to the U.S. ends today. Will Canadian businesses pay the price and lose customers? And it's showdown time. Bombers challenge riders for the Labor Day crown. Bringing in Catherine now. The long weekend is finally here. It's going to be a good one, too.
Remember when you almost wore a green blazer today?
That's what I did today. I wore a green blazer.
Good thing you caught yourself, because I think we would have gotten some angry emails.
I'd rather go dark than wear green on any day.
I think that's a good call, especially this weekend. Oh yes, Labor Day weekend is before us, and Mother Nature is serving up a beaut. 13 degrees, clear skies. They're really clearing out throughout the morning. Winds are out of the south-southeast, fairly light at 12 clicks. Pressure is rising. Humidity at 96%. So yes, lots of sunshine on the way. Tons of heat. Caravan Upper Ridge that is kind of locking it in for us for the next couple of days. Of course, with very high humidity, it can cause some instability, as evidenced by this smattering, if you will, of sort of disorganized thunderstorms. So that's about a 30% shot of materializing in areas in northwestern Manitoba, maybe in Churchill as well. Likely, though, it's going to be sunny and very hot, to the point that that's not even showing up on our radar. It's so minimal, that little system. As you can see, the skies clear out nicely all throughout Manitoba today. We will get a little bit in the way of cloud coverage later on today overnight, and we'll start to see those partly cloudy skies. To the north as well, you're going to see some clouds to begin the day tomorrow, but likely they'll clear off, leaving behind lots of sunshine and very hot highs. We're talking about into the upper 20s, low 30s, well above seasonal and likely lasting throughout the long weekend. Backtracking to today, we have a decent, well, better than decent high of 29 degrees. 22 is what's seasonal for this time of year. Even hotter on Saturday, 31, not terrible at all on Sunday at 30. Monday, we lose a touch of heat at 26 degrees. Then those overnight showers roll in, and they take a little bit of humidity with it. 21 degrees under the clouds. And then Wednesday, we're sticking around to seasonal there at 22, but we're back below it by the midpoint of the week. Your weather art of the day, this one drawn by Jeremy on the sidewalk. I love that we're changing up our mediums here, who is 5 years old. Thank you so much for submitting that. And of course, if you have any weather art from your kids, we'd love to see them. Send us photos of their drawings, sketches, along with their name and age, and we're going to feature one artwork every day on the show at 7 a.m. Email those entries to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Catherine. Doctors Manitoba is joining the chorus of voices expressing concern about the rise in violent incidents in and around Health Sciences Centre. A new survey of its members found the number of incidents at the hospital is nearly double the provincial average. Roughly 30% of the physicians there experienced nearly one physical safety incident a month over the previous year. And HSC accounts for 45% of all physical safety incidents reported to them in the past 12 months. This includes everything from being punched, kicked, and spat on. Doctors Manitoba say this is unacceptable and is calling on Shared Health and HSC to find and fix safety security gaps as they're identified, rather than waiting for a full report to be made before action is taken. In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for Shared Health writes in part, "Over the past 2 years, we have taken steps based on recommendations we heard from the unions and directly from frontline workers. These recommendations have led to physical improvements to the site, including additional lights, cameras, station security, AI weapon scanners, and reducing the number of unsecured public entrances. And we continue to work toward further changes." It's the end of an era as duty-free shipping to the U.S. ends today, with many Canadian businesses bracing for a financial hit. Starting today, the United States is eliminating the de minimis exemption, which has allowed packages worth $800 or less to ship to the U.S. without duties. Now full duties will be collected on all global packages entering the U.S. Experts say some Canadian businesses are likely to lose U.S. customers, as the change will make products more expensive. Last year, almost 1.4 billion packages worth more than $64 billion entered America without being charged duties. An Ontario plant that bottles Crown Royal whiskey is set to close up shop, leaving an uncertain future for its workers.
Need to maintain the jobs. Without the jobs, we become a bedroom community, and I, as mayor, do not want that. This is a major blow.
Crown Royal's parent company, Diageo, says the bottling plant in Amherstburg, Ontario, is slated to close in February. The company says the whiskey will continue to be mashed, distilled, and aged in Canada, but the move is part of an effort to shift some of its bottling volume closer to its U.S. consumers. The plant is the largest employer in Amherstburg with 160 workers. The union representing those workers says it won't let the facility close without a fight. The Labor Day long weekend is just around the corner, and that means hundreds of Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans are making their way to Regina. The annual Labor Day Classic pits the Bombers against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This year, the Riders are in first place in the West Division. The Bombers are in third. So a win for the blue and gold would be huge. The game will be played Sunday night, and you can watch it on TSN. Here's what's happening now on St. Mary's Road. Traffic volumes are still quite light. People took an extra long weekend, perhaps. If you see any problems out on the streets, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
It's hard to believe the kids are going back to school, and we're also talking about Halloween this morning with you, Ainsley. Good morning. You're at the Children's Museum.
Is it too early?
Maybe.
maybe a little bit, but tickets go on sale today, so I think it's quite timely. And as soon as back to school rolls in, things move pretty quick. So Brady Kid joins us once again. What's going on here for Halloween?
Yeah, so we got a bunch of special guests coming in. So we have DJ Mama Cudsworth coming in for a family-friendly dance party here at the museum during Halloween Howl. We also have Wildlife Haven Rehabilitation Center coming in with some live animals for display as well, which will be awesome. So we have a photo booth as well. That'll be a lot of fun for everybody involved. So yeah, it'll just be a really good time overall.
Sounds like more fun than any Halloween party I've been to. That's awesome. The Wildlife Haven, what kind of animals do they bring in?
So generally they bring in like live owls. So last time they were here, they brought in some live owls, a tortoise, I believe. They also have some other things like some snake skins and stuff like that as well. So it's a really cool thing. It's a good chance for kids to learn a bit more about animals and stuff like that as well.
Sorry, very fitting. The craft that you've brought, things that people can do at home. That's what I love about this.
Yeah, so we got a craft here as we're going to be doing this at Halloween Howl this year as well. It's going to be a clothespin bat decor that kids can hang up in their window for Halloween. So I got a little example here that we can see. It's going to have a little bit of like a tie-dye action to it. So we'll just spray a little bit of water on this guy here, and it'll actually have the colors kind of go everywhere. Now, this is a little bit wet right now to put together, but we will eventually end up with something like this. And then there are a few more steps involved in this, but for today anyway, you just put the clothespin like that, and then you have a little bat decoration that the kids can use for Halloween. So it's just going to be a really fun event.
Can you do this with any color? Because you know what I was thinking, people who aren't quite ready for Halloween yet, it looks like a leaf. So, right? It can just be fall. It doesn't have to be Halloween yet.
100%. I mean, my favorite color is purple, so I'm a little bit biased, so that's why they're purple. But yeah, you can do any color, and the kids can do any color. We got one of the bats down there with some blue in it as well. So yeah, for sure.
This is really getting the wheels turning for me right now, Rochelle, going, what am I going to be for Halloween this year? So if you guys want to email me or send me a DM with recommendations,
I love that.
I go all out. You know that.
You have a lot of time, so I'm sure you'll get lots of messages. Thank you, Ainsley.
Yeah.
Secondhand and vintage shopping is a big business for many Canadians. One seller in Edmonton scours several locations a week in search of valuable vintage pieces. CTV's Nariman Issa tagged along for tips on how to find a diamond in the rough.
It's a dress from the 1960s. It's a little mod mini dress.
Dressed the part, Haley Wright gets ready to find some vintage pieces.
As I'm going through, I'm like looking for colors and patterns and fabrics that really pop out to me.
Wright found this floral dress believed to be from the 70s.
I'm shopping as much with my eyes as I am with my hands, and that's why as I go down the rack, I've got one hand ready to pounce to feel for an interesting fabric, like this piece, for example. This is from the late 1960s.
Wright is a regular at the Southside Valley Village. She looks for clothing and accessories from the 1920s to the 1970s.
Once you start to recognize the patterns, the silhouettes, the fabrics, the fastenings that would be typical for those time periods, then those pieces almost just start jumping out at you in the racks.
Wright is the owner of Rewilding Vintage. It started off as a hobby and is now a full-time job. She posts her finds through her Instagram and Etsy shops.
A couple of weeks ago, I found a dress from the 1920s, which was hiding in a rack at Value Village. I also have a really gorgeous 1930s velvet hat.
The manager of this Value Village store says some of the pieces donated have left her in awe, including jewelry from the 1800s.
It was in 14 karat gold, and it was the first time I had ever seen something from that era come in, and it was of earrings and a brooch.
Wright says there's no better feeling than finding that perfect piece.
To be the person that gets to bring it home and care for it and hopefully bring it back to life and then send it out and off to its forever home, it's the most joy I've ever had.
So as these clothes get donated,
I see something very cute.
Wright hopes these pieces will keep getting recycled for decades more to come. Naram Nisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
When you're picking out your outfit for today, I'm going to go with layers, breathable fabric, because wow, we are set to get very hot. 13 degrees out there under a couple clouds, and that pesky bug just loves the limelight, I tell you. Winds out of the south-southeast, the barometric pressure is rising, the humidity sits at 96%. Yes, it's going to be a scorcher, not only today, but throughout the Labor Day long weekend. For those of you who are not quite ready to say goodbye to summer yet, we are going to be feeling like it's the heart of it for sure this weekend. As you can see, there's not a lot of cloud coverage throughout the province, but there is this smattering here of instability. That's about a 30% chance of rainfall and thunderstorm activity in areas like the Pas and Norway House Cree Nation. But likely the rest of us and even that region is most likely to stay nice and sunny and nice and dry. In terms of the rest of the province, as you can see, there's a smattering of cloud coverage. It'll dissipate throughout the day. We're going to get some partly cloudy skies overnight, but not before we deal with sunshine, temperatures above seasonal to the tune of high 20s, low 30s in some parts. Swan River, you have a chance of 32 degrees today. So wow, get the fans, get the AC ready to go. Into tomorrow, we set the stage for a clear day in the south. Start off with a little bit of cloud coverage to the north. That'll move on out in good time, bringing with it lots of sunshine to enjoy. And Sunday, much the same. High temperatures into the upper 20s, lots of sunshine on the way. In terms of today, we're looking at a high here in Winnipeg of 29 degrees. We see that mercury go even higher into Saturday at 31 and 30 into Sunday. We lose a bit of heat on Monday, and those overnight showers bringing it down even further into Tuesday with a high of 21 degrees. It's about that time to head back to school, and we have tips on how to get the kids ready in terms of their eye exams. That's just ahead.
Good morning. If you're a Swiftie, you may still be celebrating the news that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. And if naysayers are wondering how fans can be so excited for two people most have never even met, CNN's Mandy Gaither explains.
It's the love story that's captivated all the Swifties. By now, you probably know all too well that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have made it official, posting their engagement pictures on social media. And fans are celebrating this enchanted moment for two people most have never met.
There has been an online tidal wave of congratulations, text messages, excitement, and it has to do with sharing this collective experience of an engagement.
Clinical psychologist Susan Albers with Cleveland Clinic says you don't have to have direct experience with something to feel it deeply. Since many fans grew up listening to Swift, they can relate to her. And after years of singing about love, it seems she finally found it.
It gives people hope that if they believe and have experienced heartbreak, they too can experience an engagement or a fairy tale ending that they are hoping for.
Albert says it's what psychologists call a parasocial relationship, a one-sided connection to someone you don't know. And she says social media aided the fan fascination.
In this case, They announced the engagement on Instagram in the same way that a friend would. Our brains don't distinguish between a friend's post and a celebrity's.
But Albert says it's okay for Swifties to be happy. Don't let anyone dim your after engagement glow.
We don't have to turn away from the excitement. It is a happy occasion to celebrate. And for those who are naysayers, it's often a projection of jealousy or fear.
Do you love wine and a little VIP luxury? Then this is for you. We're giving away a Champagne Lounge VIP experience to the Winnipeg Wine Festival each week. That's for you and 3 friends at the RBC Convention Center on September 26th and 27th. Enjoy exclusive wine tastings and support the Special Olympics while you're at it. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and enter the clue word, taste.
It's back to school time, and when you're putting together your back to school list, it's so important to add an eye exam for your children. And to talk more about it, I'm joined by Dr. Romy Dhaliwal with the Manitoba Association of Optometrists. Good morning, Dr. Dhaliwal.
Good morning.
It's so nice to see you and chat about this. Such an important subject. Let's talk about the comprehensive eye exams that are available for kids.
Yeah, so we're really fortunate here in Manitoba that the Manitoba Health covers children and youth under the age of 19 for a full eye exam. So we usually recommend that the first eye exam happen before the age of 1. The Canadian Association of Optometrists have certain guidelines when kids should have their eyes checked. So usually parents bring in their babies around 6 to 9 months, which is always so fun for us because we do a lot of little finger puppets and make sure their eyes are tracking properly and their eye health is good. And then the next is between 2 and 5. So the goal is here to get in before kindergarten. And right now, only 20% of Manitoban families are taking advantage of this coverage. So we're really trying to drive those numbers higher. And then after that, 5 and to up to 19, we usually say annually.
And to be clear, 19, if you're under your 19th birthday, you qualify.
Yes, a day before you turn 19 is fine.
Okay, important to know. Now, back at the other end, talking about kids, sometimes children need glasses as early as kindergarten, and there's a special program for them as well. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. So the Manitoba Association of Optometrists is really proud to be part of the national program, I See, I Learn, which is a program that helps to ensure that children, if they have any eye health or vision issues, that it doesn't become a barrier when they start school. So we're really driving the message to parents to have their children's eyes examined by an optometrist before they start school, because as we know, 80% of what kids are learning is through the vision. And so the Kindergarten First Pair Free program is such a wonderful program. It's available and open to all families whose kids are going to kindergarten in Manitoba. And so if an optometrist finds that there is an eye issue or the child needs glasses, they're covered for the first pair. And that really helps remove any financial barriers for families and gives parents a peace of mind that their child is seeing well before they start school. And I just want to add that we're so thankful for the donation that's been given. The frames are from Modern Optical Canada and the lenses are through Esler's One Sight Foundation.
So basically, if you can't see, you can't learn.
That is correct, yes. So it's very important.
Absolutely. So you can take advantage of these programs. They're so helpful. Now, if anyone wants to learn more information about the programs, or if they just want to find an optometrist, as you mentioned, not many people are taking advantage of these services. Where can they go to find out more information?
They can go to our website. It's very easy, optometrist.nba.ca, and they can find an optometrist or a participating clinic that's doing this program around their neighborhood.
Okay, sounds great. Dr. Dhaliwal, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, and I hope everyone takes advantage of this program because clear vision, it gives children that best start possible for their school year.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Speaking of clear, that's what Mother Nature is serving up. The sun is out, a couple clouds here, but for the most part, they're dissipating quite nicely. Winds are out of the south-southeast at 12 kilometers per hour, pressure rising, humidity at 96%. Lots of sunshine, lots of heat on the way. I feel very popular delivering this forecast ahead of the Labor Day long weekend. So how hot is it going to get? We're looking at values in the upper 20s for most parts, even cracking the 30-degree point in areas, particularly in the southwest. I believe Swan River temperature has a chance of 32 degrees, very high. Meanwhile, slight chance of some instability coming to the northwest. Areas like the Paw and Norway House Cree Nation has a 30% shot of some rainfall and thunderstorm activity. Likely you'll stay dry, sunny, and hot. That's the name of the game for the weekend as well. Temperatures dipping here in Winnipeg to about 16 degrees. Skies remaining partly cloudy. And tomorrow we're heating up even more. 31 degrees in Winnipeg. Many similar values expected all throughout Manitoba. And we're likely not losing that heat until Monday. We're back into kind of a little bit more what's more typical for this time of year for Winnipeg. 22 is what's seasonal. But overnight rainfall on Tuesday is likely to bring the end of this very hot spell. So it'll make returning to school a little bit easier. Your CTV Morning Live picture of the day was taken by Melissa Maruka in Lundar Beach of that gorgeous sunset. Melissa, thanks so much for snapping this photo, and any other shutterbugs that want to send us their snaps can do so by email at winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Ahead of the September long weekend, thousands of Manitobans will be gearing up to head to the lake to enjoy the tail end of summer. But before you jump in, the province is warning of algae bloom levels exceeding acceptable levels in several communities. As CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you now, that includes a popular lake in the city of Morden.
On a Thursday afternoon in Morden, there's nowhere else Rose Weeb would rather be than relaxing by Lake Minnewaska.
Spring, summer, fall, I just love it.
But Thursday, there was something extra to watch out for in the water. The province of Manitoba's website lists Lake Minnewaska as one of 6 beaches where algal samples exceed acceptable safe levels to swim. Algal toxin levels have exceeded 20 micrograms per liter in the lake, and now advisory signs have been posted nearby advising residents not to drink, swim, or make contact with the water.
I swam yesterday. I got a little bit green, but nothing major, and I just showered. I was fine, right? I don't drink the water, but I could swim around in it.
Weeb says this is the first time this year the water has been a murky green color, and overall she feels the lake hasn't been too badly hit by algal blooms. However, Morden Mayor Nancy Penner says after frequently warm weather, it's not the first time the lake has looked like this.
Often at this time of year, the end of August, we get some heat, we get some temperature, we get nutrient load in the lake, and we get an algae bloom.
The mayor says there is no concern for Morden residents drinking the treated water from the lake. That is the city's primary source of drinking water. She says the city wants help from the province to mitigate the growth of algal blooms.
We are waiting on provincial approval to bring in an ultrasonic system that will hopefully deal with the algae blooms. Hopefully we'll have something in place for April of 2026.
Lake Minnewaska isn't the only beach dealing with algae right now. There are 6 others, including Sandy Lake, Pelican Lake North, and Delta Beach. Still, Weeb wants to enjoy the last remaining days of her summer and won't stay away from the lake.
It's warm and we're heading towards school and it's not as crowded, so I love to come now, and especially with the weather being what it is.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Morden.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Creators, artists, and lovers of graphic novels and comics are gathering for a 2-day event to celebrate and share their inspiration of the art form. The festival is called the Prairie Comics Festival, and people can check it out at the Manitoba Museum for free. Joining us now is the Artistic Director of Prairie Comics Festival, Inc., Samantha Biko. Good morning, Samantha.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, graphic novels, comics, very popular right now. Why is this literary form really so big right now?
It's actually funny you say that, because human beings have always tried to relate their surroundings and their stories using visual media like cave paintings.
Love that.
So I would say that we are still super visual, and what's really cool about comics is it's words and pictures telling a story, and you can really analyze people's experiences or the fantastical in like such an engaging way. It's also very cinematic, I would say. You know, a lot of movies use storyboards in order to map out, you know, how things are going to proceed, and comics are kind of like that. So it's really cool to see a visual medium like this that can come alive in your hands.
And it's really fascinating for kids too, because it's an easy way for them to read. It gets them involved with, you know, using that part of their brain. What do you think about the scene here in Winnipeg? Are you seeing more artists, more graphic novel artists coming forward?
Yes, we have a really big flourishing community here in Winnipeg and in the province as well. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year, which is why our festival keeps getting bigger every year. And it's just so cool to see all of the different stories coming out. It's also really just great that artists today are enabled to share their stories, you know, via social media, via, you know, creating zines, which are, you know, a more DIY, low-cost way of getting their stories out. And building the community is such an important part of that, to create more platforms for these stories to be shared.
Okay, well, you got to tell us about this festival. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend, and it's free at the Manitoba Museum. Tell us what's happening there.
So at Alloway Hall, which is on the main floor of the museum, we're going to be packing it with over 90 exhibitors, which is our biggest festival yet. Half of them are from Manitoba and from Winnipeg, but I would say the other half are from all over Canada and the US as well. So we're going to be seeing a lot of artists who normally wouldn't come. In addition to the artist market, we're also going to have 2 days of panel presentations and workshops that are all about pitching your comic to a publisher, or how to write a nonfiction autobio comic, or queer comics and combating book bans. So we've got a lot in store for folks to engage with.
You even have some pretty special guests. Tell us about who's coming.
That's right. Our 2 headliner guests this year are Jeff Lemire, who is the best-selling creator of Sweet Tooth, Essex County. He's going to be having his brand new memoir, 10,000 Ink Stains, at the event. And we also have award-winning comic creator Jen Woodall, whose work is super familiar to a lot of folks who are in the community. So we're really excited to have both of them. We're going to have some special events around the festival with the 2 of them. So they normally wouldn't come to Winnipeg, so I'm glad that they're coming.
Okay, so we're almost out of time, but you do offer workshops year-round. That's free. Right. Tell us quickly about that.
Through the Winnipeg Public Library and through our studio space in the Exchange District, we offer, like you said, workshops, seminars on how to make comics and how to engage with this amazing sequential art medium.
So cool. If you want to learn more, we have a link on our website, and again, it's happening September 6th to the 7th at the Manitoba Museum, and it's free.
It's looking picture perfect out there. 14 degrees, 1 or 2 clouds joining us. Winds are very light. Pressure is rising. Humidity at 93%. That bug is back again. All right. Yes, we are going to be dealing with lots of sunshine and a good amount of heat this weekend. It's not going to feel like summer is coming to an end, more like cranking up. We're currently at 14 degrees, as mentioned, in Winnipeg, 18 in Morden and Winkler, 13 in Brandon, 18 in Dauphin, 16 in Swan River. I want to draw your attention to Churchill. So while they're basically on par with many parts of the province, 13, that is going to be one of the warmer values for today. You're going to see temperatures in that region fall to 12, while the rest of us will absolutely skyrocket. That's because we are under this upper ridge, and it's locking in that heat. Also a good amount of instability, as evidenced by that little bit of a disturbance there. About a 30% shot of some rainfall and thunderstorm is predicted in northwestern Ontario, so the Paw, Norway, House Cree Nation, Lynn Lake likely to stay dry. Most of the region is likely to stay dry, matter of fact. In terms of the heat, yes, it's going to be getting very warm, above seasonal for sure. Here in Winnipeg, 22 is what's typical. We're surpassing that by noon. 25 is where we're starting to edge up further, and then likely hitting a high of 29. But areas, I should move out of the way, to the southwest are getting even warmer. Look at that 31 in Swan River. And as the weekend goes, the temperature just continues to rise. 31 on Saturday. Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 30. Monday, we start to inch down slightly, 26 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. Then those showers likely roll in overnight and temperatures come back down to reality. Tuesday, we're looking at a high of 21 as most kids head back to school.
Thanks, Catherine. Rural municipalities can now start applying for a provincial program that helps fund critical infrastructure. The Manitoba GROW program offers up to 50% of the total cost of capital projects, such as roads, waste management, disaster prevention, or community infrastructure. All municipalities outside of Winnipeg are eligible.
We also have a really cool incentive this year through the feedback we heard from municipalities, where municipalities can partner on a regional project. Have one municipality take the lead and others work together to realize big initiatives.
The minister notes smaller projects like developing parks is acceptable as well. The deadline to apply is October 6th. School divisions in Winnipeg are making plans to ensure education continues for Manitobans displaced by wildfires this summer.
Some folks have expressed, perhaps are facing loss of home, loss of time. And so as a division, we really want to wrap our arms around the students and the families to address their social emotional needs and to be able to provide a place of normalcy.
One of those is the St. James Assiniboia School Division, which is preparing to welcome students from evacuated communities to their schools when classes resume next week. The division says plans are in place to ensure a smooth transition when students are able to return to their home communities. The province says the Education and Early Childhood Learning Department has been working on back-to-school plans for evacuated children throughout the summer. Odds are, if you've watched TV at some point over the past 40 years, the show Degrassi, in any of its many eras, has found its way into your living room. As CTV's Andrea Case reports, the inspiration for a new documentary about to screen at TIFF came from an unexpected source.
There was a notice about auditions for this new kids show.
And then one day, my mom called me and told me, "You got the role." And I just grabbed my bag and left. And man, what a wild journey that started.
The new documentary, Degrassi, Whatever It Takes, would never have happened without Ivy Mudd.
Well, I started Degrassi, and I'm like, why is there no documentary about this?
Do you always take your daughter's advice?
From now on, I will, clearly.
It is the longest-running and most successful franchise in TV history.
2 years ago, the then 13-year-old Ivy began watching Degrassi from the very beginning of its 385 episodes. She asked her TV and film producer mother that fateful question.
It was pretty clear that, it sort of stands the test of time. So the question was, what's the future of it? And why not celebrate something that's 4 decades old?
Ivy was captivated by the TV show about a group of kids in a Toronto school and their lives inside and outside the classroom.
I think everything still holds up. It talks about things like eating disorders, and I feel like people can relate all over the world.
Cast members were game to take part in the documentary, including perhaps its now most famous former student, Jimmy, a.k.a. Aubrey Graham, a.k.a. Drake. Mudd had to get the blessing of show creator Linda Schuyler, which was easier than she thought.
We had lunch. We sort of poured our hearts out, and I don't think that she had any expectations. Like, she was very hands-off.
As for getting accepted into the Toronto International Film Festival,
I've been around a while. This is my first TIFF, and it is, it's incredible. And in our own town, in Toronto, with a franchise that is homegrown. It's a Toronto story, right? But arguably one of our biggest cultural exports. So it's amazing to be here.
Degrassi, Whatever It Takes, will have its world premiere on September 13th at 6:15 at Scotiabank Theatre. Do you have your outfit picked out for the red carpet?
Not yet, but it has to be amazing.
Andrea Case, CTV News.
Grew up to that show. All right, taking a look outside now at Portage at Polo Park. It looks like a good start to this Friday. We're heading into the long weekend and things appear smooth on the roads. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.38. The provincial average is $1.40. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.41. The lowest price in the city is $1.34. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Time now to check in on the responses to our question of the day. We asked you how you plan to spend the last long weekend of summer. Marlene says it's a toss-up, Kenora or St. Malo Beach, and a barbecue. For Susan, it's the Banjo Bowl for sure. Maybe some cleaning, maybe. Vanessa says she's snuggling with her newborn. CTV Morning Live viewer is off to Hillside Beach for the warm weekend. Enjoy, everyone, the warm weather, as it won't be long until the cold season sets in. And Leslie says she and her husband and her 2 youngest kids are spending the weekend with family at their cabin on Malachi Lake. Thanks for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, and maybe you want to go to the Children's Museum this long weekend. There's lots going on there.
Well, attack of the bloodsuckers. There's only a couple days left, Monday being the last one. It's gigantic. Tick. Bloodsuckers. That was terrible. I thought of it just before. I'm like, what's a good, you know what? Not so good. We're going into the long weekend, Brittany. We're going into the long weekend. Tell us about the exhibition.
Yeah, so this is Attack of the Bloodsuckers, where kids can learn about all the things that suck your blood. So there's leeches, mosquitoes, ticks, black flies, and you can kind of learn the science behind what's going on here. We've got up close and personal with some bugs.
What's this one?
This one is a tick. Here's another one.
So this one just allows you to really get a microscopic lens.
Yeah, a ×20 view of some bugs up close, yeah.
Well, I won't ask you every fun fact because there's simply so many, but these are interactive. That's I mean, kids love to use their hands.
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of ways to interact and learn and really get up close and personal to some bloodsuckers.
What are some, because kids are so funny, they say the darndest things, as they say. What are some things that they've said to you over their time here?
Yeah, like we get a lot of questions about what things are, if they're real. We have some live mosquitoes and live leeches in this exhibit, so we get a lot of questions about that, about what they eat. That's a really interesting thing for kids to see. The leeches getting fed is really something that they don't get to see very often. So,
and what's funny too is what cameraman Kenny is showing. You guys curated this, like. You have bred the mosquitoes. Tell us about that process.
Yeah, so we're breeding mosquitoes in the back courtyard of the museum, and we've had such a dry summer that it has been like very difficult to get mosquitoes, which seems a little bit silly in Manitoba. Yeah, so we like harvested the little eggs from there and then put them in these tubes and displayed them. Yeah.
The only place in Manitoba that is actively trying to make sure that there are mosquitoes in the building. I love that. We're almost at a time. Why should people come here in the final stretch?
It's the last weekend to check it out. There's lots of really cool things to see. You can learn some stuff about public health, and I also think that it helps to kind of reduce the fear factor around what happens if I get a leech on me at the lake or at the beach. You can kind of help kids kind of work through that in a way that's really safe.
Thank you so much. Have a very safe and awesome long weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, you too, Ainsley. Thank you. Out on the rooftop now, every time there's a leech around me or my kids, there's lots of screaming going on.
Yeah, you know what? We need to go check out that exhibition because clearly they still really trigger us. You know what's not triggering me is this forecast because it's looking gorgeous. I'm not ready to say goodbye to summer, and we're going to get sent off in fine style, let me tell you. It's currently 14 degrees, clearish skies, decently very light winds, I should say, out of the south. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 93%. Sorry, this is going to bother me. There we go. Okay, so I mentioned the heat. An upper ridge is really locking in those very warm temperatures to the tune of the upper 20s to low 30s in some parts. However, we know with that extreme humidity comes a good chance of some instability. The northwest particularly has a 30% shot of some rain or thunderstorm activity, as does Churchill. The rest of us, though, sunny, clear, light winds. Overnight tonight, temperatures dipping down to the mid-teens, winds remaining light, skies remaining partly clear. Tomorrow, the north starts off under the clouds. They'll clear out nicely, setting the stage for a sunny Saturday throughout the province with hotter highs. In Winnipeg, we're looking at a high of 31 degrees. 22 is what's seasonal. Needless to say, we are not going to be touching that for a couple of days. Likely Sunday and Monday will be in the upper 20s through most of Manitoba, but Monday night into Tuesday is when things take a bit of a turn. Some rainfall likely coming our way. Things cloud over and we're back to seasonal, and then dipping even below it into the next work week, back half of next work week. So it's a good time to send the kids back to school. It's a good time to send me into a commercial because I'm starting to stumble, but stay with us. So much more CTV Morning Live just ahead.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A family farm near Red Deer, Alberta has been operating for decades. One of its highlights is providing a hands-on experience for guests. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on the farm's legacy and how it stays connected to the community.
The Jungle Farm in Red Deer has been in Leona Staples' family for more than a century.
Since then, it's just come through the generations. So I am the fourth generation that's been farming on the exact same land.
While the name might suggest exotic animals on site, it's actually a produce farm growing all kinds of fruits and vegetables.
Zucchini and potatoes and peas and beans and broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage and beets and Swiss chard and corn.
Their farm operates by letting people come and pick their own produce, a highlight for children when visiting. What do you like about being on the farm?
Picking strawberries. I like picking carrots. Strawberries look really good, so I'm excited to eat them.
Staples says their strawberry fields are a fan favorite.
No better strawberry than a strawberry picked at 4 o'clock in the afternoon where it's warmed from the sun all day, nice and red strawberry, and the juices drip out of it.
A hands-on experience is important for Staples. She says having people pick the produce they eat, especially children, gives them a better understanding of where their food comes from.
I just had a note from a mom who was in our ABC program who said, there is nothing more beautiful than having my daughter chomp on cauliflower like it was an ice cream cone.
Just gives them the experience of picking berries out in a farm instead of buying it at the farmer's market or in the store.
Education is part of the Jungle Farm's mission.
It's a huge part of Alberta to have the farms available and here to pick fresh produce and support our local economy.
You don't need your own farm to flex your green thumb, giving people a chance to pick their produce right from the source. In Red Deer, Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News.
The City of Winnipeg is taking another step towards getting smart water meters in your home. The city has put out a request for proposals to implement an advanced metering infrastructure system. It asks applicants to create a data collection network with citywide coverage. They'll also have to supply compatible water meters and software. Companies have until September 18th to submit applications. Several Manitoba manufacturing operations are getting a sizable funding boost from the federal government.
With this support, we are investing into plastics manufacturing, bringing that north of the border. In fact, we will have probably the largest rotomolder in Canada is coming as support of some of this.
That's Derek Friesen, head of fiber manufacturing in Crystal City, a producer of agricultural equipment. His company is one of 9 getting a share in more than $21 million in funding announced Thursday. Other recipients are involved in creating cabinets, glass, lawnmowers, RV parts, and more. The federal government says the money should support around 285 new jobs.
Just steps away from the airport, so I had to dress the part today at the Grand by Lakeview, and I'm joined by the Director of Sales and Marketing, Carla Foster, with us today. This is so convenient for people that have a flight to catch. Talk about this space here.
Yes, we are literally right at the airport. We are steps away from the arrivals lane. You can't get any closer than this. No need for a shuttle. Walk across the street, minus 40 in your flip-flops. No jacket, put on your shorts. We're not going to judge. We are that close to the airport.
And especially in the wintertime, we know our winters are harsh. People are always getting away to those hot destinations, and they literally are walking across in their flip-flops. So how convenient for that. Or if your plane is delayed, you couldn't ask for something easier than to just roll on back to the hotel.
Absolutely. It's this convenience of not having to wake up your friends or family at 4 a.m. for that Sunwing flight. It is literally coming here the night before, relaxing, having a nice dinner in the Blue Marble restaurant, you know, waking up, sleeping in those little bit because you're not worrying about the roads or the traffic, your cab showing up, any of those problems that might occur, walking across, checking in your bags, check everything, come back, take a relax in your room for just that little bit longer before you have to go through customs. It's just that easy.
Yeah, it really is. And let's talk about those rooms because they've got a great view, don't they?
Yes, one side of our hotel has a city view and the other side of our hotel has the runway view. So watch your plane fly in, see it there on the tarmac, know that it has arrived and it's here. Also a great bonus.
You mentioned the restaurant. Great place to grab a bite.
Yeah, the Blue Marble restaurant is open for dinner only, but we offer an extensive menu, a lot of local food on there. It's just a wonderful experience. We have one of the biggest wine cellars as well, so just something you got to check out.
Absolutely. And a fitness center to boot?
We do have a 24-hour fitness center. We do not have a pool, but we are definitely we cater to the corporate clients, those that are flying in and out. We're not really that leisure hotel that are coming for their family stays. We really are your convenience at the airport.
Yeah, and talk about convenience, as you mentioned, steps away from the airport. You really can't go wrong. How do people book with you?
They can book on our website, www.lakeviewhotels.com, or they can also call up our front desk or email as well.
All right, see you here for your next flight.
Winnipeg is going to feel more like a vacation destination this weekend. In fact, the whole province will. It's going to be gorgeous. Currently 14 degrees, few clouds out there, light southerly winds. Barometric pressure is rising. The humidity sits at 93%. Sunshine and heat, that's what Mother Nature is serving up. As you can see, though, there is a slight disturbance potentially for the northwest, a slight chance of some rainfall and thunderstorm activity. Once again, I grabbed the wrong clicker. Alrighty, taking a check on the rest of the province. A mix of sun and cloud and very hot temperatures in Thompson at 30, 27 in Gillam, Churchill, 12 degrees falling to that into the afternoon, and a slight chance of some rainfall and thunderstorm activity. As does this region for the most part, with very hot highs of 30 degrees, lighter winds as well. In southwestern Manitoba, it looks like Swan River could be the hot spot of the province at 32 degrees. Not too shabby the rest of the region at 30 under a mix of sun and cloud. Much the same here, maybe 1 or 2 degrees cooler depending on where you're at, but it's going to be a scorcher today and into the weekend. Maybe some clouds joining us a little later on into the afternoon, but for the most part it's going to be clear. Northwestern Ontario a little bit cooler, but plenty of sunshine. Overnight temperatures dipping down to 16 degrees, setting the stage for another hot day tomorrow. 31 under the sunshine. Sunday's not too shabby either at 30. Alrighty, we're taking a break, but stay with us. Your video of the day still to come. Don't go anywhere.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we send you off into this long weekend, we kick things off with a sneaky snacker. Look at her, she's a busy beaver. Watch Peanut grab a snack and then slowly duck down to hide from prying eyes. She's not great at hiding though, but she's a pro when it comes to finishing her food. Look at her go. Look at those claws.
I also share that talent. And I also don't like people watching me eat, so I get it.
So you hide, yes.
And I've got talents kind of like her, so.
Well, we all know kids say the darndest things, and this mom knows exactly what they're going to say.
Whoa, look at that stick, guys.
I think it's long.
All right, guys, I'm going to turn on a movie.
She's a predictive parent. After every question or statement, this mom is able to anticipate her kids' answers, and it's adorable. Wonder if she's as good with her husband as well.
For real life? It's so cute.
And then lastly, sometimes you just have to let the music move you. Damn, talk about getting lost in the music. This little boy can't contain himself. Check out his moves as he dances along to the live jazz playing from this restaurant.
I can't tell this guy like it's a professional dance. Like he's amazing.
He's good. And then the saxophone player just sticks out the head out of the window to inspire him as well. That does it for us. Have a great long weekend.